This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL Premiership season.
AFL. On your radio.
On digital. And take us with you on the ABC Listener.
Look for the AFL button.
One game to go before we draw a line under round 12. It is a gorgeous Sunday afternoon on the Gold Coast. The setting for the Suns taking on Essendon. Quentin Harlan, the team in place for Gold Coast versus Essendon. Suns 6-5. Great in Darwin, not so great in the second half against the Blues though last week. Is this the same narrative in a different year for Gold Coast? The last couple of seasons they've been 5-6 after 11 games. This year 6-5. Great at home, questionable away. They haven't lost at Carrara this year. They're 4-0 on this deck. And the Bombers, one of the stories of this season, with a 2-goal win over the Tigers at Dreamtime last week, continuing their excellent run of form. They come here with 8 wins, 2 losses and the 1 draw for the season. And a few tweaks to the teams that were named all the way back on Thursday night. Jared Witts was pulled out before the secondary submission of teams on Friday with a hamstring injury. And then Braden Fiorini has been named into the team as well, with Lloyd Johnston pulling out ill. So Ned Moyle, the secondary ruckman, coming in for Jared Witts when teams were resubmitted on Friday. And then the back-flipping small forward is out ill. Braden Fiorini comes into the Suns team. David Swallow is the sub for the Suns. And whether or not Brad Scott saw that Jared Witts was out and thought, well, here's a good chance to, scratch Goldie from the Goldie. Todd Goldstein's managed. He's not playing. So Nick Bryan is going to come into the ruck for Essendon today. And Elijah Satis is the sub. I'll be calling with Michael Price. We're playing 2 ruckmen today. Jeff White, Matt Primus, welcome to you. Zane Bojak's down on the boundary. Quick lead into this one. Top line thought, Whitey. Welcome. How are you?
Super light in. Yeah, very good here. Looking forward to an outstanding match here. And, Gold Coast I'm going.
Okay. What about you, Matt? How are you?
Going well. Looking forward to see if the Suns can take a big scalp at home.
Let's get into it. It's a perfect scene here. There'll be a lot of noise for the Bombers in the house. No seats left available for sale. There is standing room only here at Carrara as Michael Price gets us underway.
It's Ned Moyle for the Suns versus Nick Bryant for the Bombers. Bryant gets it down right in the path of Stringer. Knocked off the ball, picked up there by Noah Anderson. Off the side of his boot to right half forward. Nicely picked up by Nick Martin. His handball cut off by Fiorini for the Suns. At the feet of Ben Long, playing his 100th. Goes over the boundary line at right half forward and we'll get a throw in.
How's it down at boundary level? Zane Bojak, welcome to you.
Oh, you mentioned it's perfect, Hugh. 21 degrees. The surface is a little bit chopped up after Werribee and the Suns played in the VFL, but can't wait for this match. And, of course, 3,000 days since the Suns beat the Bombers.
They played here during the COVID-shortened season, and it was a draw. That was the last time they played at this venue. Free kick going to Durham at left half back from the throw-in. So he's got that right shoulder strapped as usual. He's going to send Essendon down the Nerang River wing towards more so the middle of the ground. Andrew spoils away from right, but it's roved by Gresham of Essendon. Hand passes to Bryan. Kicks deep into attack for the Bombers, but Collins out-bodies Langford to take a comfortable defender's chest mark at full back. Very short pass to Hewland. Plays on with a hand pass to Flanders as they run it through the left back pocket. The Suns hands it on the Ballard for the exiting kick.
It's a 3-on-1 for Essendon. It went through the hands there of Redmond, but they get it now through the hands of Ridley. Nice little short pass to half forward. Finds his teammate. Handball off from... Who was that actually put it away? It was Heppel to Martin, who sprayed it across the face of goal. Wild kick in the end. It just fell through for a behind. First score goes to the Bombers after a minute and a half of play in the first term as the Suns bring it back in quickly.
Yeah, in the right back pocket, but the hand pass from the mustachioed Sexton is shepherded over the line by Guelphy, and they just bump into each other. So the ball's still in attack for Essendon. They're running to the southern end, to the right of your radio dial in the first term here. A lot of black and red in the house.
One of the matchups I'm looking forward to is Mac Andrew on Peter Wright.
Now, Wright is rucking now with Moyle. Wright taps down to Merritt from the pocket. Has a shot, leaves it near side. And it's a secondary behind for the Bombers. Yeah, Big Mac Andrew was very good against Charlie Curnow last week. Not as good when he went into the ruck, but...
They like to use him on the attack, so this is where Peter Wright's got to be on his toes.
Flanders brings it back in for the Gold Coast and finds Bodie Hewland. He's in the left back pocket. Forced to kick down the line, goes towards the commentary wing. Moyle behind Bryan there and gives away the free kick. There was another hold, in fact, it was against young Jed Walter. Free kick will go to Jordan Ridley. Just in front of us on the commentary wing, just measures a beautiful pass too. Finds his teammate in Archie Perkins, 60 from goal, almost on the point of the centre square at right half forward. He sees something he likes. The lead came from Langford, spoiled by Collins. Front and square was Sexton, gave the handball back to Mac Andrew for the Gold Coast. He laces out Nick Holman at right half back. Beautiful kick.
And no one on the mark, so he can stroll on. Holman uses his left boot to drive the Suns around the outer wing. Kings caught in a 2-on-2, caught behind, spoiled down by the Bombers, and they've got the numbers at the Rove. The hand pass comes out the back to Martin. His chip around the body is marked by Menzies, just forward of left half back for the Bombers, who have got the early two behinds here. Suns yet to go inside 50. Menzies from left half back kicks it long down the wing. Fly from Perkins, couldn't take the grab, rode by Bryan, hand passes to Stringer, 55 out, Stringer goes deep for the Bombers. Lost the face for a third, Essendon behind inside 50s, 4-0 for the Bombers.
You can do that well, Essendon. They kicked the most goals from outside 50 and they definitely had a good look there with Stringer, who normally converts those shots.
From fullback, Alex Sexton lowers the eyes and once again finds Hewlin, Bodie Hewlin. Still in the back pocket, Sexton runs past for him, cuts back in, and again long down the line, Moyle versus Bryan, and Walter cuts back in. Nice mark taken in front of his opponent in Mason Redmond. So young Jed Walter from Palm Beach, Currumbin, right on the logo, commentary side, gets to the arc of 50. There's a 2-on-1 involving the Bombers, floating across beautifully. Jordan Ridley took a juggling one-handed mark on the arc. He retreats back inside defensive 50 to find Zach Merritt in the pocket.
He started well already, Ridley, after his best on ground last week.
Gresham dropped the mark he should have taken, but has time to regather. Hand passes to McGrath, who has a bounce or two running off right half back for the Bombers. Hand passes to the wing where Perkins is in space. Kicks it to half forward, not a great pass, hoping for Langford. He half volleyed it, but follows up Perkins to clean up his mess. 70 out, kicks the Bombers to full forward. Out the back of the pack, Menzies gets a hand pass to Guelphy. Guelphy to right, and the ex-Sun kicks the first goal for the Bombers at Carrara. Right foot snap from the right forward pocket for a man who knows these blades of grass well. Essendon 1-3-9 and 5 inside 50s to naught, with the Suns yet to score.
Well, I've been impressed with the Bombers already. Just the ability to pick it up off the ground, so clean below their knees, and this is where they're getting that repeat inside forward 50s. But great finish from right, but it's their ability to have front and centre and have really good balance in the forward line at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. We got spoken about during the week, Whitey, about Essendon's ability to win the ground ball and then the handball back and create a lot of offence off that. And you're exactly right. They've won a lot of ground balls from long down the line and contest stuff, and their hands below their knees are outstanding.
Experts today are Matt Primus and Jeff White. We'd love to hear from you on 0437 774 774. All that after the Dockers towered up the D's by 92 points in Alice Springs.
Back into the middle of Carrara. Moyle versus Bryan. Bryan roves his own ball, tumbles it towards centre half forward. It's a good contest there from Kelly. Brought the ball to ground. Gresham could have copped a free kick. The ball gets tickled out now. Tuke Miller, handball off to Jeffrey. Jeffrey confronted over to Flanders, just gets it back to Tuke Miller, tackles it, gets another handball away to Jeffrey. They've made it to the commentary wing. Will Graham gathers in traffic, kicks long inside 50. King the target. The first grab, could have copped it front and square. Ainsworth had a ping with the left from 35 directly in front. Hooked it across the face, one behind. 1-3-9 plays one behind, 8 points the margin. Bombers lead, 6.5 gone first term.
See the pressure there by the Bombers. Best team for pressure the last 5 weeks in the competition, and they certainly harassed the Suns really well then.
And the inbound for the Bombers is a long one. Moyle in front of Bryan at that inbound to tap it down. Roved by Hewland of the Suns. Left half forward, 60 out. Hands it to Holman. Tackled, dispossessed by McGrath. Picked up though by Miller. Indiscriminate hand pass from the Suns champ. Picked up by Redmond at right half back for Essendon. And his kick to the wing marked by Wright. Wright's kick is very wide. Merritt can't control it with a fingertip reach near the boundary. He got a touch on it. It's out of play. And just seeing there that Noah Anderson's close to him. That'll be fun. Boundary throw in between wing and right half forward for the Bombers. Essendon with the early lead by 8 points.
5 inside 50s to 1 in favour of the Bombers as well. The throw in beside the interchange gates, forward to centre wing for Essendon. Off hands Caldwell, gives it in ball to Durham. Taken around, should be holding the ball under the new interpretation, and it is. Tuke Miller with the tackle. At left half back, Central. He's just looking down the line. The Bombers are well set up in front of him, and now he flares out towards McAndrew.
I think you're reasonable, Price. He's more reasonable than anyone else is reasonable, to be honest. You're a very reasonable man.
So it gets over to McAndrew, who kept running. Got it forward. It was Durham who attacked the ball beautifully, overran it. It spilled it out for the Bombers. Caldwell gathered. He was tackled into the ground. It goes into the corridor. Now Mason Redman over to Gresham, through Caldwell. Nick Martin through traffic. Beautiful handball. Redman has a bounce. Approached by McAndrew. He lobs it over the top. Peter Wright from 55 lowers the eyes and looks for a central ball. It is delightful. A 45-metre pass taken there by Harrison Jones around his ankles. But Peter Wright, what a start back here against your old side.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure McAndrew's endurance. You mentioned Whitey, that matchup there. Pete Wright can run all day for a big fella, and he's getting the ball well up the ground and then getting it on the way back. So looking at McAndrew now, he's got his hands on his knees. He'll know he's alive today, playing on Peter Wright up and down the ground if the ball's going to flow like that.
So the 23-year-old Harrison Jones, 9 goals, 6 for the year, directly in front, 30 metres out. Skips in, the right foot is good. He celebrates with Kyle Langford and the Bombers crowd as they extend their lead to 14 points early. 2-3-15 plays the Suns 1 behind after 9 minutes of the first term here on ABC Sport on a Sunday afternoon.
Just really set up extremely well at the moment, defensively and offensively for the Bombers. The ability to get it on the half-back line, Ridley's been outstanding to start with, but then the ability to hit those targets and then get movement. They're going into open forward line. So in that situation there, Redmond's coming through, hand pass over to Wright, but such a great setup in the forward line. He had so much space in front of him to just lead Jones to the ball. So outstanding work from the Bombers, great foot skills.
Jeff White with you on ABC Sport, and always important interstate to get a good start, and that's exactly what the Bombers have done here. High cloud around, but just perfect conditions for the afternoon, which will turn into evening by the time we're done with this one. Centre bounce, Ruckman share it at the coalface, no real clearance, and the ump's going to come in and sort it out. Rowell over the top there of Durham. Ball rumbled a few metres away from the bullseye. Now it's tossed in the air once more. Give that one to Bryan of the Bombers. But Rouse underneath it, tackled by Caldwell, no prior. Third start in the middle. Can we clear it this time? Bryan probably beat more. Nah, Caldwell's tackled Rowell. And again, no prior. Michael, have a go. Essendon 2-3-15. Gold Coast 1 behind.
Struggling to extract the ball out of the middle of Carrara here as Bryan drops around his feet. Tuke Miller enters for the Gold Coast. Speculating handball forward. It missed Berry. Now Redman retreats, gathers, handball backward to Martin. Martin now gathers. He decides to go. It's a dangerous, aggressive kick across the goal that finds Heppel in the left back pocket. He wants to play on immediately. It's a long kick to a 2-on-1. Bodie Ulan spoils for the Gold Coast. That gives it to Closey. Now back to Flanders. His pass to Graham was cut off. Nick Hine gave the handball. It goes through Caldwell now to Durham. They're in the corridor now. Goes with Merritt back to Durham, who kept running. The handball sublime from the Bombers. Ridley back to Merritt inside 50. Spoiled away from Gresham. Following it down there was Redman again. He kicked it across the face and it's going to be cut off. Nicely taken there in the Gold Coast. It was young Tom Berry who got back. Cut it off 30 metres from his own goal.
So the Suns just struggling a little early here as the pass is marked by Closey at right half back. Kicks around the wing. Lukosius finds himself in space to mark. Just forward of the wing. Kicks Gold Coast towards half forward and inside 50. Long had a piece, then got whacked over the ear. Free kick for high contact on the 100-gamer. Ben Long. Mackay coming in late with the infringement. The Suns need this. A man who now reaches the ton, having played 79 games for the Saints, originally from, well, what is now the Suns' recruitment zone. It wasn't when he was starting out in the NT.
Just better ball protection there. Because Essendon's putting so much pressure on them, they've just been bombing it down the line and it's worked in their hands. So a bit of switch of play sort of worked in their favour for the Suns.
45-degree angle. And 45 metres out for Ben Long. On his right boot in his 100th game. What a way to start a milestone match. And the Suns needed it. Essendon 2-3-15. Gold Coast 1-1-7 early on at Carrara. You're hearing it through ABC Sport.
Yeah, as Whitey mentioned, a good counter-attack, and they've done well, the Suns defenders. They've quite a few inside 50s, and they are the best at defending marks against, and Essendon have only had one, and they're able to intercept that one there, probably off a bad decision more than the intercept, but they went quick and then they had numbers forward and they were able to get there before McKay was able to spoil the ball. So the toughness in the middle of the ground, though, I think Jeff mentioned it before, both teams are really strong below the ground. Whoever's winning that is given a really good look at either end of the ground. At the moment, Essendon are just ahead in that area.
This is interesting now. Moyle's gone off. Jed Walter in the ruck.
Yeah,
it's Peter Wright, yeah.
Against Peter Wright. I don't think I've seen that all year.
Young Jed Walter. Well, there you go. It's the long and the short of it. He's got a bit of height about him, but I think Peter Wright's got him. He certainly has in the middle. Easily tapped down the stringer. The outside of the right boot tumbles inside, attacking 50. Well read there by Ballard. He gave the handball off to Sexton. Inboard there to Rowell. He had a runner, but it was cut off there by Hine. Beautifully for the Bombers. Inside 50. He overcooks the kick. It was cut off by McAndrew for the Suns. He comes back out to the commentary wing. Delightful kick into the path of Ainsworth. He's got nobody on the mark. He plays on. Has a bounce. Redmond confronts now, so he cuts back in. Long kick to the pocket. Ben King gets in front. Gathers his own crumb. Curls it around to the top of the square. It's a one-on-one contest. Hine gets back for the Bombers. The handball off to Heppel, back to Hine in the pocket. He chips it forward. Delightfully finds Stringer. Well handled by the Bombers' defence.
Peter Wright down the last line of defence. He's everywhere to start for the Bombers. And Stringer's just inside defensive 50 at left half back. Essendon lead by 8 points. Very short pass from Stringer. Hind takes the mark just beyond defensive 50 at left half back. Kicks it back to Stringer, infield on the 45, just required 15. He'll play on. No one on the mark. Stringer kicks it towards centre half forward. Gets beyond the pack. Durham make it Jones first to meet it. Tackled, got a hand pass clear to Kelly. Beats one, tackle can't beat the second. Got rid of the handball though. Jones picks it up, hands it out the back. Inside 50 from Martin's not great. Well, Ballard had it. No, it was touch, was it, Mattress? Yep. Okay, play on. Suns are going to get clear anyway. Andrew from left half back kicks it to a 2-on-1 against Walter. Well done, young man. He went against Mackay and also Redmond, and the ricochet falls to Ainsworth. Kicks inside 50 for the Suns. Not well placed for the leading Long. Tracking back, Laverty makes the spoil, and the Bombers have got it.
Yeah, it comes back out now to Heppel. Takes it inside defensive 50 at right half back. He flares it out wide, just short of centre wing to find Mason Redmond. Down the line, Durham, who's covered a lot of ground early. He takes it about 5 metres in from the boundary, back inboard towards just short of centre wing, corridor side, and it's Redmond. Now they want to transfer it a lot wider. Redmond goes back inboard to find Ridley. He gathers now. Over to left half back. They've done this well to Martin, Nick Martin. To the opposite wing, to Hine. They're just holding onto the ball. The pinpoint passing from Essendon so far as Nick Hine held up, wants to find something a little bit better. He goes down the line. The lead there was cut off, and that's a nice mark floating up, third man up from Bodie Hewland in defence at right half back for the Gold Coast.
Short pass to Close. He marks it still just forward of right half back for the Suns. Kicks around the boundary to Berry. No one on his mark, so he plays on. Hind applies the pressure from behind. Berry gets his kick away, but Long's got 2 to beat in the forward line. And Mackay's the third man in to mark for Essendon. Kicks it around the left half back flank. Short pass to Martin, who marks for the Bombers. Again, precise on the infield pass to Perkins. Marks, kicks to the corridor. Merritt's there to take the grab. Just defensive side of the centre circles. He dropped the football as there was mild contact. Some of the Bomber fans wanted 50. The ump said no. Transfer out to the broadcast side. Marked by Ridley. Kicks it to the wing. Cox takes the grab. So from one side, left half back, they're now going to right half forward with Stringer taking the mark. Kicks inside 50. Half volleyed by Wright. Couldn't pick it up. Cordwell does the roving. Takes on Rowell. Got rid of the ball quickly, holding the ball. Play on. To the advantage of Holman running through half-back for Gold Coast. Hand passes to Andrew, given back to Holman, who's corralled near the boundary by McGrath. Gets a left boot to it, though. A high hoper to the wing. Heppel's in front. Lukosha spoils. Heppel roves, and then Miller tackles him. And we'll have a ball up on the wing. Essendon 2-3-15 lead. Gold Coast 1-1-7.
Yeah, the Bombers using the ball well. They get so much patience and they're spreading the ball, and then when they turn it over, they're defending extremely well against the Suns.
Plus 22 in disposals, the Bombers, as that ruck contest goes back over the boundary in front of us. Another throw in.
If you want to get in touch, 0437 774 774. Bill texts saying doesn't like the fact that there's no lead into the game between the two after Freo put a number on the Ds. 92-point winners in Alice.
It's Rowell, big kick inside 50, going back with the flight. Lukosius, it just tickled off his fingers and went towards the boundary line. He gathered, was tackled nicely there by Laverty, and a free kick to the Bombers.
It's a massive improvement in their defence, Essendon. They are 4th or 5th best in the comp. No worries with scoring the last couple of years, but their defence have stiffened up great.
It's a big kick just short of centre wing. Commentary side, fisted forward by Walter once again off hands. The Bombers have got this covered. It's Merritt now. He's got time to basically stand there, go left and right, change his mind. Confronted by Closey, he goes backwards now to Heppel. He's confronted there by Lukosius, so they go by hand. Back to Laverty, back to the square. Comes out, Redmond kicks it now. Nick Cox flies, punches it down. Roved there by Walter for the Gold Coast. Can't quite pick it up. Gresham enters, kicks it off the deck. Caldwell goes down around ground level. It ends up back with Merritt at right half back. It's pretty ferocious, and Merritt goes long down the corridor.
Leading is Jones, takes the mark, just attacking side of the bullseye for Essendon. Chips inside 50, Kelly's in space and takes an uncontested mark 45 metres from goal and goes back like a man intent on a set shot to the southern end.
Just needed some composure. Both teams have struggled to get a shot inside 50 the last 3 or 4 minutes. Yes, and on that occasion, the composure to get it over the top and kick it to the hard-running Kelly.
So he's yet to kick a goal this year, Jake Kelly. He's only kicked 3 in his career. But this, well within his skill set, you'd think. Straight in front, 50 metres out, left foot strike. It's a goal, and the Bombers have got 3. A rare major for the former Crow, Jake Kelly. Takes Essendon to 3-3-21. Gold Coast 1-1-7. We've played 19 and a half minutes. You're hearing it on ABC Sport. Jeff White and Matt Primus.
It's really good structure from the Bombers. It was fumbling around there on the wing, and they were pushing. They were set up. They got the turnover from the Suns, and then all of a sudden they pulled the trigger. Merritt was obviously, his kick through the middle was outstanding to Jones, but they pulled the trigger. They knew they had set up. The balance is really good. Their structure is so much better than what it's been over the last couple of years. It's a joy to watch.
91 possessions to 59 in favour of the Bombers at the moment, and 12 inside 50s to 7. That gives them that 14-point lead. 20 minutes gone to the first term. Back into the middle of Carrara. It's Ned Moyle versus Nick Bryant. I'll call that one a draw as it falls at the feet of Rowell. He gets it back to Moyle, who's tackled into the ground by Bryant. We'll do it all again at the edge of the centre circles. Nice crowd buzzing away here at Carrara on a Sunday evening. Once again off the hands of both ruckmen. Rowell gathers, and he's gathered and thrown into the ground, and we'll do it all again from a similar spot just beside the centre circles.
Lights are on, but not really taking effect at the moment. Moyle with the first tap there, but still just to the foot of a very eager pack. Caldwell has a go for Essendon. Hand pass is clear, but stolen by Humphrey of the Suns. Runs through the bullseye, kicks a lateral ball out towards the broadcast wing. Good tackle from Hind on Sexton, and there was Pryor, according to the ump. There was a reasonable time there for Sexton to try and get rid of it. Hind gets the free kick, kicks the half forward. Perkins takes the mark, has a bounce, plays on and slots a pass to the chest of presenting Jones. Hard in the pocket, about 30 out, near the boundary.
Seth Flanders, I think, in that contest just hurt himself.
Yeah, he just got straight back up, and he's now hobbling straight to the interchange bench, Waddy.
Zane Bojack will keep an eye on that, while Harry Jones, having had a week off for his sling tackle. Zach Fisher, tough angle. He'll start his approach from next to the fence. Man on the marks, 3 metres in from the boundary, 25 metres out. Jones on the right boot. Just near side with a miss. 3-3-22, plays 1-1-7. What are you seeing down there, Zano?
It's a bit hard to work out whether it's ankle or whether it's maybe calf. He just can't put his weight on that left leg. So, I'll keep you updated and watch what they're treating him for.
The Gold Coast bring it back in across the commentary wing, floating across the pack, Mac Andrew. Those extending arms. Takes a beautiful mark, chips it a little wider and forward of centre wing to Braden Fiorini, the late in today. He goes backwards by hand to Andrew. Andrew across into the corridor to find Alex Sexton. Now he's confronted by Hind. He handballs into the middle. Jeffrey goes wider. It's Bodie Hewland. The young man from Broadbeach just forward to centre wing on the outer side here at Carrara. Chips it forward another 20 metres. Sam Collins at fullback has come down to right half forward. Gathers. Kicks long to a pack. Front and square, Heppel for the Bombers has got this covered. Handball back to Bryant, back to Nick Martin, and off a step. He tries to exit. It's cut off there by Sam Collins on the arc of 50. The fullback who has never scored a goal at AFL level.
Looks confident, Pricey.
He's gone straight back, and he looks like he's going to have a crack at this.
He's going to kick this from Broadbeach, though.
It's a very long kick. He'll have to kick it from 55. He's on a very wide angle out to the right. He puts it out to the top of the square. Method in the madness. But it's a nice mark taken there by the Bombers' defence, and it's a 50-metre penalty. And the ball was slapped out of the hands there of Caldwell. He took the defensive mark. Sorry, it was Merritt. And now he takes off quickly, goes straight inside 50 through the hands of Ballard. Joel Jeffrey back there for the Gold Coast through hands. Will Graham exits, got the handball away to Rowell on the arc, and now they should be out through Jeffrey. He's got it and will kick forward. No, handballs forward.
To Graham in the middle of the ground, hands it to Anderson on halfway. Kick inside 50, Humphreys in space. He takes the mark 45 from goal. The Boom second-year kid, Bailey Humphrey.
That's better from the Suns, just a bit of more poise, a bit more ball protection. That's what Essendon's been doing the whole quarter. Slowing their eyes, hitting their targets. Even if it's a really, really short target, at least they're still holding possession, not bombing it away, and that's what the Suns did on that occasion.
Bailey Humphrey from right on 50, opens the angle a little, launches into a right foot drop punt, which is a thing of beauty. And he can see his image on the big screen celebrating with both hands out. That's a second goal for the Suns. Essendon's lead cut to 9 points. The Bombers 3-4-22 lead the Suns 2-1-13. Matt Primus and Jeff White, your experts on ABC Sport.
Yeah, I reckon Essendon be disappointed with some of their inside 50s. I know they're going at about 50% having a shot when they're going in there, but geez, they've left some easy ones out, some unpressured kicks, and the Suns have just got a hand in, or the kick's just been a little bit off, and on that occasion then the Suns are able to counter-attack and get it in the right user's hands to kick the ball inside 50. But yeah, I reckon they've left 2 or 3 shots on goals out here so far in this first quarter, Essendon going inside 50.
Yeah, Zach Merritt was trying to get in inside forward 50, but it was only Hine was the furthest one. And he was outnumbered, so made it really difficult for him. So they're playing really good, the Bombers. It's a good fight back there from the Suns.
9 points the margin in favour of the Bombers with 25 gone to this first term on ABC Sport. Ned Moyle gets it down for the Gold Coast. It's cut off there from McGrath, got the handball forward. Bryan gets it forward, nicely picked up by Hind, back to Bryan by hand. Long kick to the top of the square. Langford flies, spoiled by Collins. Front and square, Alex Sexton bumped off the ball. Gathered by Langford, has a snap. It bounces through for the Bombers. No, it's touched on the line. McAndrew with the extendable arms yet again. One behind, 23 plays, 13, 10 points the margin. And they're going to be reviewed. Zane Bojak's on the boundary as we get this review.
Yeah, well, we'll go to the arc. I'll just let you know that Sam Flanders has been trying to run on that. It's a right ankle that's swelled right up. They've strapped it. He's put his boot back on. He's been trying to run around the boundary line. Don't think he's got full feeling, but I think he's going to be back.
Well, thanks very much there, Zane, as we go to that review and having a look at it.
Touched off the boot, Pricey.
Touched off the boot from
Collins.
Kick of Langford. Sam Collins yet again getting involved. Just about to get that confirmed.
We've got a very blurry replay of this.
All the players are set up, though, as though it's going to be a point kick in. So
it looks like he touched it. The call from the goal umpire was touched.
Review complete. Looking at this angle, we can see the ball deviate off the left hand of the Gold Coast defender.
Yeah, you can see that from behind the goals. You can see the deviation there.
So it will be a behind. So 26, 27 minutes gone here of the first term. Just waiting for the call officially before the scoreboard will take over. It's 3-5-23 with 2-1-13. Will be a 10-point margin in favour of the Bombers.
Statistically, that goes down as Langford's behind, but I'm against that because really he didn't miss, did he? But he kicked a point. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Long inbound from the Suns. Brian's got the ball, though, for the Bombers off the pack. Hand passes to Durham. Under pressure, right to the tackle of Rowell. Through the hands of Cox, back to Mackay, then to Brian. On the wing, long kick towards half forward in a pack. No mark. Andrew does the roving for Gold Coast. Hand passes to Ballard under pressure. Got rid of it. Hand pass to Rowell, and the Suns run it from left half back. Through Miller, by hands to Ainsworth. Hands it off to Moyle, and indiscriminately hacks it to half forward. One of those devil balls. Get under it and play fair. McGrath does. He's got it. He's tackled. Lost it for the Bombers. Picked up by Lukosius of the Suns. 60 out. Hand pass to Fiorini. One of the late ins. Hand passes to Sexton. Backwards. He's now 70 out. Sexton kicks it back to full forward, and King leads and marks. 30 out. Slight angle to the left.
That was all set up with the Suns on the half back. Early in this quarter, when they're on the half-back line, they would just bomb it, or they were just willing just to get on their boot and get it forward, and that played into the Bombers' hands. That time, they used the hands. They got to run from behind, and they're able to cut through the defence of the Bombers.
In King, 32 goals so far this season, and just the added theatre of a post-siren kick to end this first term, and the Suns spearhead misses to the left. Gwenda, good quarter of footy, particularly for Essendon away from home. The Bombers will go to the first change with a 9-point lead. It's Essendon 3 goals, 5-23, leading Gold Coast's 2-2-14. Wright, Jones and Kelly have kicked the goals for the Bombers. The locals, Ben Long in his 100th game has kicked a goal, and Bailey Humphrey the other. 9 points the margin. Essendon 3 goals, 5-23 to Gold Coast's 2-2-14. Earlier, as Whitey was telling me, it's not just the Jeff White Cup, it's the Jeff Squared Cup when Freo play the Dockers. You and the Wiz.
Farmer, yeah.
Jeff Farmer, Jeff White.
No, I'm not.
Freo Demons.
I'm not owning it, but that's what they say.
So are you nonplussed, or are you bleeding because you're red and the blue after a 92-point hiding?
Yeah, very uncomfortable.
Okay, so
now.
No disrespect to the Dockers, but what was it? 12 seasons at Melbourne, about 2 at Freo, something like that. Yeah. So that makes sense. Great result for the Dockers. 22 goals 9, 141 to Melbourne's 7-7-49. That's right, 22-9, 141, beat 7-7-49, the Dockers by 92 points. There is just one game in the National Rugby League today. The Sydney Roosters are taking on the North Queensland Cowboys without James Tedesco. If you missed that big news, the New South Wales captain controversially overlooked when Origin teams were picked on Monday, but now he'll be playing on Wednesday night because Dylan Edwards has got a quad injury. The Roosters 6 lead the Cowboys 0. Of course, ABC Sport will be with you at Stadium Australia on Wednesday night for the first instalment of the regular State v State trilogy, which engages all sports fans in this country, not just those that are regular week-to-week followers of the league. So Andrew Moore and the team, make sure you put that in your diary for Wednesday on ABC Sport. Here, Bombers by 9 points. It's quarter time. Hope you're enjoying Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
The Men's T20 Cricket World Cup.
He's bowled. That's it.
Live from the USA and West Indies.
What about that? Unbelievable.
Catch all the action on the ABC Listen app.
The wait is nearly over.
Here we go.
Origin.
Let's have a great series.
Hear Origin 1 live with Andrew Moore and the ABC Sport commentary team. Live from Sydney's Stadium Australia. Can the Blues take the lead at home?
The Blues are destroying Queensland.
Or will the Queensland spirit dominate again?
Wow! Queensland's done it again.
Hear all the action Wednesday night on your home of footy. ABC Sport Digital.
Game, set, bingo!
And the ABC Listen app. This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Perkins is in space, kicks it to half forward, not a great pass, hoping for Langford. He half-volleyed it, but follows up Perkins to clean up his mess. 70 out, kicks the Bombers to full forward. Out the back of the pack, Menzies gets a hand pass to Guelphy. Guelphy to right, and the ex-Sun kicks the first goal for the Bombers at Carrara.
Redmond has a bounce, approached by McAndrew. He lobs it over the top. Peter Wright from 55 lowers the eyes and looks for a central ball. It is delightful. A 45-metre pass taken there by Harrison Jones around his ankles. Harrison Jones, 9 goals, 6 for the year, directly in front, 30 metres out. Skips in, The right foot is good. He celebrates.
Lukosius finds himself in space to mark. Just forward of the wing. Kicks Gold Coast towards half forward and inside 50. Long had a piece, then got whacked over the ear. Free kick for high contact on the 100-gamer. Ben Long on his right boot in his 100th game. What a way to start a milestone match. And the Suns needed it.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Gorgeous sunshine on the stands out in the eastern side of the ground. The lights are on, there's high cloud around, and the two teams getting instructions at quarter time. Welcome back to Carrara. It is picture postcard stuff on this Sunday to complete round 12, and the Bombers lead the Suns by 9 points at the first change. Essendon 3-5-23 to Gold Coast 2-2-14. My name's Quentin Hull. I'm calling alongside Michael Price and your experts on ABC Sport. The two big men today, former D's ruckman, All-Australian, and number one draft pick, Jeff White, All-Australian captain, coach at Port Adelaide, Matt Primus. Righto, boys, what did you make of the first 30?
Well, a really good flowing game. There's been a bugger all stoppages or contested balls stuff. The ball's just bouncing up and down either end because both backs are on top of the ground. The Essendon, as we've mentioned in that first quarter, their ability to outnumber and their hands to release to create other players to space and get the ball flowing has been really impressive. The Suns were able to fight back the last 5 or 10 minutes of that quarter, then get some inside 50s down there. But both teams are really struggling to hold the ball inside 50, and that's what's causing an up and down game. And I reckon that's the advantage of Essendon at the moment. So I reckon Essendon will be trying to hold the ball in a little bit better. They can't get any marks in there at the moment, and the Suns have probably trying to capitalise a bit more long down the line, see if they can create a few more stoppages, which is to their advantage. But a really impressive start by Essendon, and the Suns were able to hang on and hit the scoreboard late in that first quarter. That's
what you said there, Matty, is the key, is the ability to chain with hands, especially off the half-back line, but to have spread. I think the Suns early were like little dinky hand passes, really easy for Essendon to actually smother them and get the turnover, whereas later in that quarter they got a bit of width for their hand passing. So, but both teams are playing a similar brand of footy at the moment, so absolutely. Hence the reason the scores are pretty close.
Martin had 11 touches for the Bombers to lead all comers in that first term, 9 for Ridley, 9 for Merritt, and the best for the Suns in that regard, Andrew and Sexton, both off the half-back line with 9 possessions. Second term's underway. Brian and Moyle in ruck, neither with a telling tap. Miller is tackled immediately by Stringer, and the ball stays in the middle. Up comes in to toss it up once more in the bullseye. Give that one to Moyle. Taps down, but Stringer roves, kicks it back into the Suns' ruckman. Hasn't really exited the bullseye yet, as Kelly placed tackler on Humphrey, no Pryor. And we're still near enough that geography of the middle of the ground for another stoppage. Tossed in the air. Give that one to Bryan, but he tapped it straight down to Miller of the Suns. Rush kick to an open forward line. Pitches met by Laverty, though, of the Bombers. Ham passes to Redmond at right half back. High kick exits defence and came down on their head of Martin. He takes the mark uncontested. Plays on with a hand pass to Durham. Kick inside 50. Half volley there for Langford. Couldn't gather it. He follows up. He's tackled by Rowell and dispossessed. Suns with the numbers. Flanders with a hand pass to Fiorini. Then to Andrew, who finds time at left half back.
He gives it back to Fiorini with a little bit of space. He puts the handball forward. Anderson through hands of Miller. Now to Rowell. Back to Anderson, who kept running through the corridor. Chips it into the path of Jed Walter. Takes it on the chest. 45 out directly in front.
That's that hand pass spread. That's what Essendon was doing in the first half of the first quarter. Exactly what the Suns are doing right there. Once they get that link up and that run from behind, they're able to just carve up the defence of Essendon because they're trying to zone off.
9 goals, 9 to start his AFL career. He's off the long run up too. That's a good 20 metres back. Man on the mark standing 45 out directly in front as Jed Walter starts in the centre square. Gets to the arc, and in the effort to go the extra distance, he just pulls it a bit left and one behind. 3-5-23, plays 2-3-15, back to an 8-point margin. The Bombers lead.
Yeah, Collins is doing a great job on Langford. I think he's had one touch, which was that touch behind. He's their leading goal kicker for the year. Great start for him.
McGrath with a long inbound, having run to the pocket, kicks it to the outer side. No clean possession. It's on the deck, picked up by Andrew of the Suns. Ineffective hand pass. Redmond steals it for the Bombers. Gave it to Merritt in tight, hands it to Wright. All this under pressure. Kicks it around his body. no real chance there for Martin to gather. Picked up by the Suns. Miller on the wing. Hand passes to Humphrey. Took on the tackler. Incorrect disposal. That's a free kick, no matter how reasonable or unreasonable you are. That's McGrath's free kick at centre half back. He'll play on for the Bombers. A low worm-burning kick to half forward, tapped on by Wright. Hoping for Caldwell, couldn't get it. Collins, though, under pressure. Well, he got it back. Hand pass went to Andrew, comes back to him. Gives the problem to Anderson, who's tackled fiercely by Gresham. And Gresham's forced a neutral. A ball up at right half forward for the Bombers. Essendon leading by 8 points early stages, second term.
Great pressure from Jade Gresham there across the arc. Now Moyle gets in front, taps it down into the path of Anderson. The handball over to Miller. Under enormous pressure, he loops it forward. Clever tap down from Martin. And it ends up on the arc there. Guelphy can't quite pick it up. Bailey Humphrey gets there for the Suns at centre half back. He flares the ball out to the commentary wing just beyond. King, he's held. It was a free kick against Mackay. Play on advantage. Well done, Ainsworth. Puts it to Ben Long, who drops the chest mark. Big chance gone for the Suns as Ridley picks it up. The handball back. It's towed forward by Redmond. Now it's coming back to Redmond by hand. Boy, they're mucking this around. Essendon playing around with the ball as Ridley plays on. Long kick in the right direction. He fists it forward. Rove by Andrew. Sold the big dummy to Guelphy. Then gather a kick and nicely into the path of Ainsworth. He takes it 70 metres out at right half forward. And boy, that was some good movement from Mac Andrew yet again.
Guelphy ended up 2 rows back.
He looks very smooth, Mac Andrew, when he gets it right. Ainsworth with a long kick to deep, full forward. King crashes the pack with no mark. Humphrey roves, harassed by McCrae, couldn't get a kick on goal. Caldwell reefs his head back as if taken high, and the umpire agrees. Jai Caldwell will get a free kick in the left back pocket for the Bombers. 3-5-23 to 2-3-15. Sorry, Jeff.
Sorry, Q. That's 2 efforts now from King. He hasn't got a possession, but 2 contested possessions to bring the ball to ground.
Long kick just short of centre wing, off hands, front and square. Tuke Miller, handball inboard to Flanders, then further into the corridor to Sexton. Lowering the eyes, Sexton hits King on the lead. 30 metres out, slight angle to the left. Ben King will have a shot at goal.
Just great work rate. Great. There was a one-on-one with Mackay, just brought it to ground. They're able to get a repeat entry inside forward 50. Mac Andrews kicked it long inside forward 50, and now he has a set shot.
32 goals 12 for Ben King. Had a good year so far. Taking his time once again off the long run. From 40 metres, he leans back a bit on this one, but he's enough to squeeze it through. The Suns with another one, and it's only a 2-point lead now. 3-5-23 the Bombers, 3-3-21 the Suns. Zane Bojak's on the boundary line.
Yeah, the trainers have been out to Nick Bryan a couple of times in the past couple of minutes. They're even going back to him again. He was down on the ground for a while. They were a bit worried maybe about concussion. I think he said that he was just winded, but he's now sucking in the big ones and getting ready for this next ruck contest. But he's not feeling too good out there, the big man from Essendon.
And he's playing because Todd Goldstein was managed. That decision came after Jared Witts was pulled out due to a hamstring injury. That sort of tweak was made before Friday's second submission. So if you're just late to the game too, Lloyd Johnston, the back flipper, he's not playing, he's ill. So Braden Fiorini and Ned Moyle are the 2 ins. And it's Nick Bryan who's playing for the Bombers instead of no Goldie on the Goldie. Restart, and there is Bryan in the middle over the top of Moyle. Got it down to Merritt. Clearance coming up for the Bombers from the centre bounce. High ball to half forward and a 2-on-2. Right the target, couldn't take the mark. Ball to ground level. Rowed by Cox of Essendon under pressure. Ineffective hand pass cleaned up near the boundary line. Kick goes around the paint, and Wright, does he keep that in?
Yep.
Yes, he does. That was Kelly keeping it in and squirting it around the boundary line to Peter Wright, who is in the right forward pocket. If there's any player travelling to this ground not playing in the home strip who knows this kick, it's this man. Couldn't get a game in his last season on the list for the Suns.
Would have had practiced plenty of shots. You normally walk off the ground training here, Q, down the race there, so he's had plenty of opportunities from here.
Going for his 200th goal as well. From right on the pocket, Peter Wright. Kicked it out of bounds on the full on the opposite side.
Enough practice.
So, yes, Matt. Well, perhaps just the execution failed him on that occasion. No change to the score. Bombers by 2 points at 3-5 to 3-3.
So the ball with Closey for the Gold Coast right back pocket. Long kick in the Moyle direction. He floats across in front of Bryan. Takes the mark for the Suns. It was the replacement for Jared Witts, who out with a leg injury later this week. He goes long to right half forward, towards Long. Punched away from him by Laverty. At ground level, the Bombers with the ball through. McGrath got the handball forward to Gresham. A long kick to half forward. Suns with the numbers. It's fisted down by Ballard into the corridor. Roved by Flanders, who immediately got his boot to ball. It went to the outer wing. Holman picked it up for the Suns. He puts it into the path there of King, too far into the path. It skids across the grass and goes out of bounds at left half forward for the Suns, trailing by 2 points. 8 minutes gone in the second term.
The Suns are starting to win more of those one-on-ones on the ground, in my opinion, at the moment.
I reckon their pressure's increased, and I reckon Tuke Miller's definitely leading that. I don't know what his touches as, but he's at Essendon and he's also winning a fair bit of the ball too.
Matt Primus and Jeff White on ABC Sport. Moyle wins the boundary throw in, tap down, but Anderson's got no path to clear. Caldwell wrapping him up with Kelly, so we'll have another stoppage.
Tuke Miller with 12 possessions, Q.
Moyle and Bryan tap it down. Anderson somehow got a boot to it, not all that effective. Punched by Redmond, cleaned up by Cox. Hand pass to Bryan, hands to Caldwell. Essendon clear, but not for long. Rush kick from right half back straight to Andrew, who marks forward of the wing for the Suns. Hand pass inboard to Jeffrey, hands it on to Flanders. Deep entry for the Suns, floating back. Bryan, third man in, taps it away from the Suns attack, and it's cleaned up on the deck by Redmond in the pocket, and his pass marked by Peter Wright. Just forward of defensive 50 at right half back. Essendon 3-5-23 lead, Gold Coast 3-3-21.
Peter Wright long down the line. Wing, it's spoiled away from Harry Jones. It's rode there by Braden Fiorini. Handball backwards to Flanders. On the low go, measures a pass. It's delightful. Hits Bailey Humphrey. He gathers and takes off immediately. Now he wants to transfer the ball across to right half forward. Lukosius used his body well. He gathered. Handball off there to Berry. Berry confronted. Scrubs a kick forward. The Essendon defence through McGrath. Nice hands. Gave it away to Menzie. Menzie long kick towards the commentary wing. Sexton broke away. Good spalling effort by Harry Jones. Rove there by Tuke Miller. Handball back to Closey. Closey to the top of the square. Well handled there. Big Peter Wright, the 2 metre Peter, went backwards and took a defensive mark just in front of the goal square.
No, Tuke's doing his bit, but this bloke's got all 6 votes at the moment, hasn't he? Peter Wright kicks long to left half back. Jones flies, can't mark. Rode by Menzie. Numbers for Essendon at the fall. Menzie with a hand pass to Caldwell. Runs 10 metres, kicks to half forward, but Langford outmarked by Collins.
They're just falling down at half forward all the time. The last 4 or 5 inside 50s have just fallen down 50 to 60 out, and Collins has certainly got Langford's measure so far tonight.
Collins kicked it to Andrew. Andrew kicks it back to right half back. Flanders marks. Kicks to Ballard, who marks. All this uncontested stuff for the Suns to get to halfway. Now Ballard off the side of the boot looking for Closey, spoiled away by Jones. Out of play for a boundary throw-in. Zane's not far from it.
Interestingly enough, I'm sitting near the members and they haven't said anything about Peter Wright until he took that intercept mark, and then they gave him the biggest razz you've ever seen. Maybe they're starting to think, oh, I wish he'd stayed here.
Would have been handy. Another 2 metre Peter. Mac Andrew in defence, 15 disposals, 5 marks, as well as 1 score involvement. He's doing everything at the back, Mac Andrew, for the Suns as well. Comes off the hands of Bryan through the throw-in. Through Durham, back to Caldwell. His kick was cut off by Flanders, dropped what he might have taken. And the ball goes through the interchange gates and we'll get another throw-in.
Sun just starting to set. You can see the tops of the skyscrapers on the Surfers Paradise skyline. Well, there'd be some envious people around the country with the weather here today. Absolutely beautiful conditions. Boundary throw-in. Give that one to Bryan, who taps it boundary side for Essendon, roved by Durham. No one really there as he kicks it 25 upfield. Was their intent? No, not enough of it, according to the free kick going to Mac Andrew. A 25 metre gainer there from Durham, deemed beyond the laws of the game, as Andrew inbounds for the Suns. A high kick to half forward and a pack. And a mark taken by Essendon. It was a good mark taken by Ridley. Somehow just got to the drop, and that was relatively uncontested, even though there were 4 or 5 men around him. Ridley kicks towards the bullseye, doesn't quite get there. Jeffrey flies for the Suns, can't mark. Roved by Miller, tackled off the ball by Durham, but Rowell wins it for the Suns. Chain of hands from Ainsworth through to Hewland, to Humphrey, now to wide half forward with the hand pass to Close. He got it on to Ainsworth. Great chase Hind. Makes the smother when outnumbered and earns a neutral. Out of play. Huge play from the Bombers, Matt Primus.
Yeah, outstanding. His closing speed has been evident tonight. It looks like the Suns are out in a couple of occasions, and that one there especially. He's able to close down and get a hand, and terrific smothered. Deny Suns an easy inside 50.
Oh, it was just great balance because he could have gone to the first one and the second one, but he just held his line and picked his moment.
Great pressure from Nick Hind and the Bombers as the throw-in happens just in front of the interchange gates. Towed off the deck there by Wright, back into the path of the man we're just talking about, Hind. He just, I suppose, escorts the ball back over the line with Flanders very close, neighbouring, I suppose you would say. As the ball goes over the boundary line, there will be a throw-in right in front of us. So the pretty active crowd just below us here where all the members sit at Carrara for the Gold Coast Suns, getting right into this game. Home team only trailing by the 2 points. Comes off hands now. Archie Perkins gives the handball to Caldwell. That's an illegal disposal. Crowd call it. Umpire says no. It's going to be a throw-in right in front of us, the ABC commentary box.
And that was the no prior but intent to dispose.
The old school, he tried.
He tried, and there was no prior. So that's play on. We've had all of those elements looked at very closely. Boundary throw-in. Underneath, Durham gets the clearance for the Bombers. Hand passes to Hind, who beats the Flanders tackle by hand passing it away from him, following it up, getting it. Kicks it to half-forward Stringer. Can't mark near the boundary. He's got 2 against him. Trying to do Jake stuff. Can't, though. He's outnumbered. Hewland picks up for the Suns. Hands it to Jeffrey. Hands it on to Closey. Clearance from right half back to the wing. Not a great kick. Heppel reads it well, though, for the Bombers, and the ex-skipper marks on halfway. Kicks infield to Kelly. Threat of a slingshot here. Now he gets the hand pass to Laverty. Deep kick towards full forward, and Hewland leaves his man to take the mark, and his man was Stringer, who was nowhere near that contest. Great mark taken by Bodie Hewland.
He retreats back into the goal square to find Flanders. Flanders again promotes it forward. Noah Anderson takes it.
It's a game of intercepts at the moment, isn't it? In between the arcs.
Noah Anderson in defence. And once again, the Bombers set up nicely in front of him, so he goes wide towards the boundary. Pinpoint accuracy finds Braden Fiorini just inside the boundary. Now he goes back to Anderson, shorter centre wing. Made his way up, so they're methodically moving the ball down the field, and they want to keep possession. Ben Long, Joel Jeffrey, in fact, just forward to centre wing, outer side, the Nerang River wing, and another kick, barely the requirement, finds Fiorini. He feigns to handball. Uses the left foot to go long. King the target at the back. Beautifully taken, and guess who? 2 metre Peter cuts in front of the pack and takes a defensive mark against his old club.
He burnt Nick Holman there, that entry, who was all by himself. Went deep, and Wright takes a great mark. His exit's no good, though. Caldwell outmarked in the contest by Fiorini, who was the laid in for Lloyd Johnston's illness. And Fiorini, beyond his measure, though, 70 out at left half forward for the Suns. Essendon lead by 2 points. Fiorini plays on, no real pressure on him as he kicks it to full forward. King's got a couple to beat. There's a whistle. Who's going to get this one? Hold on, play on to advantage. And a goal. Has Tuke Miller kicked that?
Looked like
that was Long. It was Ben Long who played on and has kicked the goal. And that's put the Suns in front. So we heard the whistle, was wondering, well, which way's the free kick? And obviously Long thought, I'll have a go because I reckon it's ours. And he's got a second goal. That puts Gold Coast in front for the first time. Suns 4-3-27. Bombers 3-5-23. Long's got 2 in his 100th. Zane Bojak on the boundary.
Yeah, it's interesting because usually where I'm sitting, the members and the corporates aren't that active, but I think with so many Bombers jerseys in this crowd, they need to step up, and they were quite happy with that goal, which puts the Suns in front. But wow, they're being outnumbered by the Bombers, and here's a Peter Wright cutting off some play in that defensive 50, but he couldn't do much then.
Well, he is, but they're just getting pinned. The Suns are going in the first time. If they're not getting a shot, every time Essendon get the ball back out, they're kicking it back to the Suns, and eventually the repeats are killing them. 12-6 inside 50s here, and the Suns have got the game on their terms.
Inside 50s evened up all through the game, 22 apiece now as Rowell toes it off the deck. He gets a clearance for the Suns. It gets to the arc. Mason Redmond's handball cut off by Miller. Miller lowers the eyes. Oh, beautiful spoil. It's going to be rode there by the Gold Coast. Lukosius curls it around. Long gathers. Handball back to King. King has a go from the top of the square. Left foot goal. His second. The Suns all of a sudden are 10 points in front here at Carrara. The bugle heralds another major for the Gold Coast Suns. 5-3-33 to 3-5-23. 17 gone, second term.
The drive starting out of the centre. And on that occasion it was Rao just to kick it. But then Took Miller got that kick out of the centre, but just to lower his eyes, just to not blaze away, just to try and kick at the favoured side of King. But great follow-up. I've been really impressed this quarter with the small forwards. Holman, Long, Humphreys down forward. They're creating chaos for the Bombers, not having any easy outs at the moment.
First time we've really called Rao too. What's he had, Pricey? I haven't heard his name too much tonight.
Matt Rouse had 3 disposals in this term to make it 7 for the game. Clearances, just the 2 so far. He does set his own standard. Stringer's getting a clearance in the centre bounce here. No.
It's probably not his game at the moment because it's an up and down game, not a stoppage game. And as the game slows down, he might come back into it a little bit more.
So Stringer was bursting clear, but the ump found an infringement at the centre stoppage. So it's been brought back to the bullseye, Jake Stringer. And Essendon will get the clearance. Last 4 goals in the game to the Suns. Stringer with a long entry to a pack. No one can mark. Off hands, Guelphy trying to pick it up. Can't do so for the Bombers. Towed towards the pocket. Cox has a go, can't pick up. Hine does, though, for Essendon. Hard on the boundary, snaps it back to the top of the goal mouth. Sam Collins with a double-fisted spoil. Spews off his knuckles, cleaned up by Holman, and the Suns will get out. Got the hand pass away to Berry. Berry's kick beyond defensive 50. Looking for Walter, spoiled away by Laverty over the boundary line for a throw-in. So the Bombers kicked 3 of the first 4 goals. But the Suns have kicked the next 4 in the game. So what was a 15-point lead for Essendon late in the first term is now a 10-point lead for Gold Coast at 5-3-33 to 3-5-23. Boundary throw-in. Moyle and Bryan, neither with a telling touch. At the feet of the big man, Moyle picks up. Hand passes clear of the congestion. Met, though, by the Bombers. As hand pass goes to Kelly. Came from the hands there of Laverty. Kelly's kick from the wing to half forward. Stringer couldn't mark, but tunnels it through his legs. Brilliant to Menzie. Picks up. Hand passes to Hine. Hine hits the post with a right foot snap from 30 metres out.
Geez, that was great play from Stringer.
Tunnel ball.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, have that awareness too. He had someone coming right at him.
3-6-24 trails 5-3-33.
It's the audacity to do those game-changing things that he does so well. Stringer, long kick short of the wing. That's a great mark from Durham. Strong set of hands. He had young Jed Walter all over him. He takes it 80 from goal. Long kick to the top of the square. That's a massive pack. It's fisted forward. Suns with numbers. Sexton to Holman. Back to Sexton. He runs outside the arc and under pressure he wobbles it to sort of centre wing. Pass Redmond to Kelly. Now Bryan via the handball. He tumbles it to the arc. Holman, he gathers. He's tackled by Harry Jones. Ball stuck underneath. Umpire circling and says no. We'll ball it up. 55 out from the Bombers' goal. At left half forward. Umpire's going to throw it up quickly. Bryan in front of Moyle, gets it down around ground level. It's a pack and it's going to be held underneath. Umpire will come in again and say we'll ball it up. It's 60 out from the Bombers' goal at left half forward.
Michael Price, Quentin Hull, Jeff White and Matt Primus up in the box. Quick clearance here from the Bombers. Durham's indiscriminate entry inside 50 goes straight to the chest of Ballard, who takes the mark for the Suns. Chips it backwards to Flanders, who's at full back. Runs to the pocket, tries to hit the lead of Holman. Good spoil from Menzie to get it away from Holman. And he follows up to win the crumbs. 60 out, hand pass to Redmond. Rides the tackle, hand pass to Jones, Durham under pressure. Hands it back to Menzie on 50. Hands it to the pocket for Stringer. One step infield, right foot kick without penetration to the goal mouth. Collins is there. He just hacks it clear of the immediate danger, but Perkins picks up for the Bombers. He's 30 out. Hands it to the pocket for Hyde. Centering kick is marked by the reaching arms of Nick Cox. That was not pretty in any stretch of the imagination, Matt Primus, but Cox has marked it and will have a shot from 20 out.
Oh, well, they can't find a winner forward and they can't find anyone to mark the ball, so there's a lot of ground balls keeping the ball alive, and it took some great composure and decision-making from Hine then to be able to kick the ball back across his body to a safe zone there to be able to get an Essendon mark there. It's hard work, but that's what the Suns are making them do at the moment, and boy, do Essendon need this just to settle it down.
Yeah, they haven't kicked a goal in a quarter. The last one was basically 20 minutes into the first term, and now we're approaching 22-minute second term. Needs to kick the goal, Nick Cox. He likes his left foot strike, and the Bombers do get a much-needed goal as we get closer to half-time. The margin is 3 points at Suns 5-3-33 to Bombers 4-6-30. Zane Bojak's on the boundary.
Yeah, Jai Coulter was getting some treatment to his right hip. I think he must have a corky there. He had a lot of trainers around him working on that area, but he's back out there now. It doesn't look to be too incumbent.
It's a great contest, this. Even in and under, too, at those stop plays, there was repeat stop plays in that possession when they went inside forward 50. Just Durham, Rao, Merritt, they're all going at each other. They're working extremely hard. They've got really good set plays in what they're setting up for both sides. It's a great contest, this, Q.
So Noah Anderson's got 9 for the Suns this quarter, as is Sam Flanders. Redmond has 8 and Durham 7, including 3 clearances this quarter for the Bombers. We're back into the middle of Carrara. It's Moyle versus Bryan. Moyle sort of nudged underneath that one. It allowed the Bombers, Durham, to gather on the left foot. He kicks it in the right direction. Spoiled there by Andrew at ground level. Andrew gathers and then right sticks the mid in. Spoils it. Rove by Euland, and the ball goes over the boundary line with some pressure from Stringer, who's begging for a free kick.
How good's this?
It's still my favourite matchup.
Oh, it's traditional footy body versus new age footy body, isn't it?
Unreal.
Big Peter Wright, and then the spindling arms of the look-alike high jumper in Mac Andrew.
Let's get everyone outside forward 50. Let them go one-on-one here. Here we go again.
Clearance for the Bombers. Bryan wins his own crumb, and the quick entry sees White in front. Don't know how good you can be there, Mac Andrew. He had no chance for that rash ball. And Peter Wright playing in front takes the mark there, Whitey.
It's just a great contest and a great work ethic there from Wright. You know, they had a one-on-one and forward 50. There's a stop play. Works really hard deep back, deep forward to give himself an opportunity. Just really good setup.
Setting himself for the right-footed snap punt from the left forward pocket. About 10 metres in from the boundary, 35 out. Key forward's bread and butter. Peter Wright, he's hooked it near side though, he's missed it. Not by much, but by enough to make him and Bombers fans frustrated. Are behind. The margin is 2 points, 33-31.
So back in board very quickly for the Suns. Flanders off hands, gathers towards the boundary line and kicks it, tumbles it in fact just outside defensive 50. Merritt's there for the Bombers. Gets the handball over to Nick Martin. He's got tackled there by Noah Anderson. He gets the ball forward. Nice mark taken there by Matt Rowell in front of Gresham. 55 from his own goal at left half back for the Suns. Now he's called to play on Matt Rowell. It's a long kick in the Ben King direction over the back. Bailey Humphrey almost peels it in with one hand at ground level. Then Humphrey explodes onto it at ground level. Long kick inside 50. Ainsworth roves in the pocket. He curls it around. Has a red hot ping. Oh, that's a beauty. Ben Ainsworth, that is a ripping goal. And the Suns extend their lead yet again. 6-3-39, plays 4-7-31. 8 points the margin yet again, and we've played 25 minutes of the second term.
What about Humphrey's ground ball?
Oh, no. But he went up for the mark. He contested in the air. He knew there was no one else there.
One-hander back through the traffic, and then a powerful kick.
But his pick-up on the ground was unbelievable. You know, and the ability in. This is where, early in the first quarter, when the Suns were going forward, Essendon was rushing back, so they were zoning. It was really hard. It didn't look like it was a free structure in the forward line. Now it's sort of opening up a bit because those half forwards are becoming reliable. They're getting used, so then that's pushing the Bombers defenders to have to play on them. So that's why these these small forwards of the Suns are really critical at the moment.
Voices of Jeff White and Matt Primus with you on ABC Sport. As the natural light is starting to disappear, artificial light taking over. Suns by 8 points. Merritt, though, with the clearance for Essendon back at centre bounce time. No great effective disposal, though. Cleaned up by Rowell at half back for the Suns. Rushes a kick to the middle. Bounces fortuitously for Lukosius. He's kicked to attacking 50, marked by King. He thinks I'm close enough. Oh, I better quickly turn around and have a look. And then he realises, yeah, no options. It's my job to do this. It was a secondary thought, though, to have a look at the options. He thought, well, yeah, I can kick this.
But I like this as a key forward. It just, it is in his range, but...
Take the responsibility. Do your job, as they say, Whitey. Exactly. Ben King's got 2 goals already tonight. Man on the mark's just beyond 50. This will take a good kick. But he's a key forward and one of the better ones in the game. With the advantage of the stand rule, can get to within 52, won't have the journey, and off knuckles in the square. It's punched through for a point to make the Suns lead 9 at 6-4-40 to 4-7, 31-27 travelled second term.
The Suns' ability to shut down Essendon's handball's been outstanding. 61 handballs had in the first quarter. They've had 34 this quarter, just taken away all their time and space. Been a brilliant defensive effort this quarter.
Heppel got the ball over to Ridley. Ridley finds his teammate in Merritt now. Back inboard to the corridor. It's centre half back, Gresham. He wants to go back out to the wing. Finds Merritt and keeps running. Merritt tries to 1-2 him with the handball, struggling to pick it up. Gresham eventually does. Gets around Berry. Kicks it inside 50. Hind at the back. Couldn't quite take the mark. It was Jeffrey at the back for the Suns who gathered, gave it to Andrew. Andrew measures a lovely kick to Ainsworth. Just getting in the way, though, Kelly. It hit him in the shoulder as he was heading towards the ball. Then he gathered a mongrel towards Hind. Hind lowers the eyes, finds a teammate 25 metres out on an angle, and it's Matt Guelphy who's made his way there. He'll have a shot, 30 out, 45-degree angle to the left.
It was great by Kelly, wasn't not to body contact. Knew he couldn't take it out, but just put the arms out and got lucky enough it hit off the arm without making the contact. Smart decision.
Very fortuitous in how it bounced off into the hands, but Matt Guelphy now with a chance to bring the Bombers closer. 8 goals for the year. He's on a tight angle to the left. The crowd letting him know it as well. From 40, he strikes it nicely, but it's right. It'll be one behind. So 40 plays 32. It's an 8-point margin again in favour of the Suns.
Getting close to half-time at Carrara. Flanders with a very conservative inbound. Short to the right back pocket. Alex Sexton takes the mark. Plays on, draws the man on the mark and hand passes to Flanders. Runs to right half back. Kicks the Suns to the wing. I hear a whistle.
Holding on to Walder.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Free kick to Big Jed before the ball arrived. Plays on quickly with a short pass infield to Hewland. Plays on, has Sexton running from behind. Gives him the handball. Sexton's kick from the wing to attacking 50. Spoiled by McGrath, and that is the last action of the half. That's a very... Was that a reasonable time for the siren to sound?
Yes.
So was that was the shortened amount of reasonable that we're now seeing? I thought that... Is the siren taking on the law interpretations of holding the ball?
Just look at the umps next to us.
That was a much shorter reasonable amount of time for a siren to indicate we can have half-time.
Had a little laugh.
Is that half-time, Whitey?
It is.
Yeah. That is half-time. Okay.
You're saying it didn't blow the...
I thought that was a very unreasonable siren.
It just went dunk.
Yeah. Even though reasonable's not as long as it used to be.
Yeah, normally they have 2 fingers on it, but maybe they just use
sarcasm. Cute.
What about the age of reasonable? Well, John Farmer.
Oh, really? That's a good one.
Thank you. Reasonably.
That's half-time, and Gold Coast with 4-2 to Essendon's 1-3 in the second term has turned a 9-point deficit into an 8-point lead at half-time. It's the Suns 6-4-40, leading the Bombers 8-32. Couple of goals to Ben King, couple of goals to Ben Long, a goal to Ben Ainsworth, and guess what? It's not a Ben, but it's another B who's kicked the goal for the Suns. It's Bailey Humphrey. Behave. Meanwhile, for the Bombers, singles to Cox, Wright, Jones and Kelly. 8 points the lead to the Suns. What happened in the second quarter for Gold Coast to get it on their terms? Matt Primus and Jeff White.
I thought the ability for the Suns to get their shape. I know listeners might hear that. What does that mean? They get enough guys inside, but then the guys just on the outside hold. So if Essendon look to handball back, they can just get at them and tackle them. And that's why Essendon's handballs disappeared, and then they couldn't get any of their flowing ball movement. So the Suns made a great structural change to that, or maybe Dimmer just got into them a quarter time, and I'm sure they scouted all that. And then they got that better. Then they went inside 50. They didn't score. They got a lot of repeats. Their Suns' backs were all over Essendon. I think they had a winner to the last couple of minutes when they were able to get a shot on there. So just Suns got their game plan well on top of Essendon's. They winning the stoppages, centre bounce stuff. They took away Essendon's uncontested handball chain, and then they were able to play a lot quicker. And as Whitey mentioned, if you're on their half forwards, they're able to get some run and then kick it into a nice open inside 50. So a battle of quarters. Essendon on top first quarter, Suns on top in the second quarter, but a lot more efficient going inside 50.
No, that was the difference from my perspective, is the half forwards of the Suns' ability to push up and be used and also work back. So in the first quarter, they weren't getting used. So there was a lot of bombs going inside their forward 50. Ridley, the Essendon backs were just taking, and Heppel were just getting those intercept marks, and they were able to dictate terms. In that second quarter, that's where the half forwards of Holman, Ainsworth, Humphreys, they became Long became very, very active, and then they ability not only to be used throughout the corridor, but also work back. And when they were getting used, they create more space down forward for King and for Long to lead back into. So the key for me in that quarter was the ability to have the better structure going forward for the Suns, and then it created more one-on-ones. But when they were going forward, Essendon had to man up. They couldn't zone off, and the ball movement through the midfield was much better. They used a good spread with their hand pass. The hand pass chain allowed them to go inside forward 50 on multiple occasions.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Matt. Jeff White and Matt Primus, your experts. Half-time here, Gold Coast 6-4-40 to Essendon's 4-8-32. And as we heard at the last break, we got a text from Marcus in South Melbourne. He goes, forget the lead-in. We want to know who Jeff White was cheering on in Alice Springs. Well, yeah, he was very disappointed to see that the Demons got flogged by 92 points there. The Dockers winning at 22 goals, 141 to Melbourne 7-7-49. If you want to send a message, we'd love to hear from you. The number to get in touch is 0437 774 774. That's 0437 774 774. Please send us your name and where you're texting from. A reminder that the T20 World Cup got underway this morning with a big clash between the USA and Canada.
Isn't it? I saw something on
in Dallas.
Offsiders this morning. That was the very first international cricket game.
That was of the T20 World Cup, yeah?
No, in history. 180 odd years ago. I think it was Gideon and Kelly who were saying that offsiders this morning. Something I know. But
well, I mean, a great performance by the Stuart Law coached United States. The former Queensland and Australian representative, played the one test.
One of the greats. One of the greats.
Man that delivered, well, always captain for Queensland's first ever Sheffield Shield title. He's coaching the USA men, who chased down Canada's 5 for 194. They got the runs in the 18th over, 3 for 197. You can hear all of them on the ABC Listen app. Look for the World Cup button. Australia's first game, I think, is Thursday against Oman.
Is that in Barbados?
Somewhere in the Caribbean. Yeah, they're in the Caribbean. Yep. So through the Caribbean and the United States, but it's all available for you on the ABC Listen app. Look for the white World Cup button. Yep. Stars and Stripes forever over the Maple Leaf by 7 wickets earlier today. That'll keep us going through the winter with a bit of cricket. Fantastic that we can bring all of that to you. In the National Rugby League, the second half is underway of the game between the Roosters and North Queensland, and it's the Tricolours from Bondi leading that one. It is... there it is, 14-4. Roosters 14, Cowboys 4, early stages, second half there. Here we're at halftime. It's the Suns by 8 points. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday of footy on ABC Sport. We'll be back at Carrara after the latest from the newsroom.
Hello, this is ABC News with David Rowlands. Former Treasurer Josh Frydenberg is considering recontesting the Melbourne seat of Kooyong in the next federal election, sparking mixed reaction from those within the party. Here's political reporter Evelyn Manfield.
Josh Frydenberg lost his seat to independent Monique Ryan at the last election, but after a proposal on Friday to redraw the federal electoral boundaries in Victoria, which would see the seat of Higgins abolished and partly moved into Kooyong, Mr Frydenberg is considering running again. The party has already pre-selected Amelia Hamer for the seat. The Hilmers Network, which promotes women for Liberal candidacy, says Ms Hamer is well supported and Mr Frydenberg missed his chance to nominate months ago. But Liberal MP Karen Andrews says she'd absolutely support his return.
The New South Wales Deputy Premier has praised the work of emergency services as they continue to search for a woman who's believed to be trapped under a pile of rubble caused by an explosion in Sydney's west. The townhouse at Wayland was destroyed in what is believed to be a gas-related blast around 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon. 2 elderly women were rescued, while multiple others from surrounding properties were also hospitalised. Rescuers have worked through the night to try to detect sounds from underneath the ruins to find a woman reported missing by her family. Deputy Premier Prue Carr says her thoughts are with those impacted.
Of course, we all hope and pray that that person if she is there, is found alive. And we are very, very grateful that people have been released from hospital and are safe and well.
Police are treating the death of a 78-year-old woman whose body was found in her home in Canberra South as suspicious. Investigators arrived at the property in Togo Place in Gordon at around 7:30 this morning. Police are urging anyone with information about the incident to come forward. Ukraine's president has told the Shangri-La Dialogue in Singapore that a peace summit later this month is the best way to end the war that's killed thousands of people in his country in the past 2 years. Larry Buttrose has the story.
In an address and question and answer session at the security conference, Volodymyr Zelensky said 106 countries and organisations had signed on for the peace summit in Switzerland. But he noted it was disappointing some world leaders have not yet offered their support. He says Russia is trying to disrupt the peace efforts. Mr. Zelensky also thanked countries, including the US, Germany and the Netherlands, for their military assistance, particularly with air defence systems.
Back home in this week's South Australian state budget will have funds which the Treasurer says will free up more than 100 police officers for operational duties. Stephen Mulligan says $19 million will go towards a so-called digital police station to handle non-urgent matters such as vehicle collision reports. Civilians will also be employed to SAPOL administrative roles in order to get more sworn officers into frontline work. The Treasurer, Stephen Mulligan, says a digital police station will eventually do the work that's equivalent to 47 police officers.
So these measures will make it absolutely clear to people looking at joining the police force that if they sign up, they'll be on the front line protecting the community rather than working in back office functions.
The Queensland Government has announced the state's largest tourism campaign in more than a decade, led by Brisbane's very own Bluey. The push hopes to leverage the huge success of the kids' TV show and encourage viewers to visit Queensland to see Bluey's world in real life. Premier Stephen Miles says discounted airfares and holiday packages in the state, made famous by the cartoon Blue Healer, are all set to be included in the campaign.
From here at South Bank at the Piazza to the Gold Coast to Cairns, we're showcasing to the world what a wonderful state Bluey and her family live in. Today we launch our big new tourism campaign to attract another 1.3 million visitors to our state.
In sport, Matilda's goalkeeper Lydia Williams says she's looking forward to her final game playing for Australia on home soil. The 36-year-old will retire from international duties after the Paris Olympics, with almost 20 years of experience playing for the national women's soccer team. The side takes on China in Sydney tomorrow in the last match of their farewell friendly series. Williams says it'll be a special night with her teammates.
It's kind of a closing of the circle. Yeah, it's definitely going to be really emotional, but, I've always been for the team and for the girls, and I'm just really excited to share, one more final moment with them on the pitch. That's all the news for the moment. For more at any time, you can download the ABC Listen app.
Hi there, Lisa Miller here. Isn't it great to get outside for a breath of fresh air? It's one of life's simple pleasures, right? Well, I can help you to keep something else simple too. Finding news you can trust. You can stay in the know with ABC News. Download the app and receive alerts to your phone. Visit the ABC News website. And for stories straight to your inbox, subscribe to one of our newsletters. It's all the latest, all verified, all the time. Stay in the know with ABC News.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Long kick to shorter centre wing off hands front and square. Toot Miller handball inboard to Flanders, then further into the corridor to Sexton, lowering the eye. Sexton hits King on the lead from 40 metres. He leans back a bit on this one, but he's enough to squeeze it through. Mason Redmond's handball cut off by Miller. Miller lowers the eyes. Oh, beautiful spoil. It's going to be roved there by the Gold Coast Lukosius. Curls it around. Long gathers. Handball back to King. King has a go from the top of the square. Left foot goal. His second.
To the goal mouth. Collins is there. He just hacks it clear of the immediate danger, but Perkins picks up for the Bombers. He's 30 out, hands it to the pocket behind. Centering kick is marked by the reaching arms of Nick Cox. Needs to kick the goal, Nick Cox. He likes his left foot strike. And the Bombers do get a much-needed goal.
Matt Rao. The long kick in the Ben King direction over the back. Bailey Humphrey almost peels it in with one hand. At ground level, then Humphrey explodes onto it at ground level. Long kick inside 50. Ainsworth, Roves in the pocket. He curls it around. Has a red-hot ping. Oh, that's a beauty. Ben Ainsworth, that is a ripping goal.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Suns yet to be beaten at Carrara this year. And as we welcome you back, Quentin Hull here. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday with us. Half time. They lead by 8 points over an Essendon team that has been so good so far in season 2024. Looking for a 9th win of the year here on the road. And they led by 9 points at quarter time, did the Bombers. But Gold Coast kicking 4 goals to 1 in the second term. And it's the Suns by 8 points at half time. Scoreline 6-4-40. Plays 4-8-32. Messages coming in on the text if you want to get in touch. 0437 774 774. Bit of reaction to that result in Alice Springs today. Dockers by 92 points. Tim in Applecross texts, did Melbourne miss the plane? G'day to Daniel from Darwin. He texts, hi guys, we were thinking of driving the 1500 Ks from Darwin to Alice to watch the game. We're all pleased we didn't make the trip. Obviously a D's fan there. Paul from Catherine, he wants to talk to you, Jeff White. He goes, hi, Jeff. If you contact the Melbourne Football Club, there may be a spot for you. That's a bit harsh. I reckon Max Gawn's been going all right, with no disrespect to you, Jeff.
Maybe they're talking about having a follow-up ruck, maybe, and that sort of...
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I.e.
trying to leave him one out.
Need a second man to help out?
Yeah, I think...
Max.
Yeah, well, that's probably one of the things I spoke about during the week with Darcy Jackson versus Gawn, you know. And then Van Ruin normally takes the rucks, but he was a late withdrawal, so...
Oh, for a Brodie Grundy.
Yeah. If you've sending us a text, please send us your name. I've got one here without a name. It says, I'm super happy. My beautiful Freo boys. Well done to them all, with anchors and claps on the emojis. They've turned it around the last couple of weeks, haven't they?
They have. It's almost since West Coast game when they played the...
Yeah, well, they were horrible in the derby, weren't they?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they've just really bounced back with, you know, and I only saw parts of the game today, but just their pressure, the ability to push up, ability to force the hand pass or force the kick was a big, big difference today.
Brett in Canberra, as we segue back into this game, you can keep your messages coming, 0437 774 774. Brett asks, hi team, are the conditions having any impact up there today? Reheat and humidity. Sounds like poor kicking from the Dons more of a factor. I wouldn't go that it's hot or humid today. You were talking, Matt Primus and Jeff, what about the pressure that the Suns picked up in the second term? How about we start with that one to lead into your thoughts with the third term not far away?
It was a beautiful day. It's actually a big Zano just ran up here to grab his jacket to go down. It's getting a bit cool down on the bench, he said. So the weather's certainly not an impact. It would be Suns pressure in that second quarter.
Was he coming up to get his jacket or to get the pizza?
He got his jacket and then he put a couple of pieces in the pocket back down to the bench. He's too smart, Zano. But I think it's more to do with the Suns' pressure, which what made Essendon turn the ball over. It's more their kicks in their forward half. For a listener who texts in there, their kicks in their forward half have what cost them, I think, and see if they can tidy that up or find a few more winners in their front 50.
And sometimes you can get that dewy, but it's normally the start of the year you get the little bit of dew at the start, at night time. But
they might get it tonight, Whitey, maybe.
A little bit, but I think Essendon's skill has been great. I think their foot skills have been really, really good. Just the pressure and just the ability to hand pass. The Suns were really short with their hand passes in the first quarter, and they just got run down from behind, or they didn't have enough spread. The second quarter, they sort of corrected that. They gave, and I just listened to one of the players, one of the reserves players. They just did an interview on the ground, and they said, what would the message have been at half time? And as exactly what we've been speaking about is about to have the ability to run from behind, but have spread. Don't go too close, have spread. So exactly what they did in that second quarter to allow them to get out, allow them to come into open forward line.
So we've got 18 degrees here tonight, so the humidity factor isn't there. So it's a good night for footy. But the disposal efficiency of both sides is quite high. 6.8% for the Suns, 74.4% for the Bombers. But it's the difference. The Bombers are actually making better of their inside 50s, 31 inside 50s. They've generated 14 shots. They haven't been accurate. 4 goals, 8. But the Suns, 26 inside 50s for the 10 shots at 38.5%. So the Bombers are a little bit better at converting into shots, just not exactly putting the pressure on the scoreboard by the majors.
Yeah, and that was probably the first quarter. I reckon, so they have been better than the Suns, but I reckon they've still left 3 or 4 shots out there. And if they can tidy that up or make better decisions or find some winners in there, that they can definitely get the scoreboard going their way.
And I think also, too, where they've taken the shots on goal, and that, I mean, Cox, a great goal, but Hine had one from the boundary line and so did Wright. Yeah. So the Suns are forcing him to go wide, which is really good. In the first quarter, they had a lot of shots through that V, as we say, the corridor of inside forward 50. But for mine, it was a lot of the counter attack from the Bombers was off the half back line. Ridley intercepting. Heppel intercepting. You didn't see that in the second quarter, so that was a big tick for the Suns.
The Bombers are winning the clearances as well, 15-9. The tackle count, 27-19 in favour of the Bombers, so they're actually doing it well there in the inside 50s, as I said, 31-26. As far as the rest of the categories go, handballs, the +7 for the Suns, +10 for the Bombers in contested possessions, but actual possessions, 199 for Essendon, 198 for the Suns. So it's relatively even across the board. Good pressure from both sides.
And I'm interested in our dual rucks here, looking at the two deputies going at it today, Ned Moyle and Nick Bryan, basically coming in with those late changes. Witts and Goldstein were named originally. Witts out with a hamstring, and then Goldstein managed.
Well, they haven't had a real influence on the game, mainly because, as we said, it hasn't really been a stoppage game. It's been a more up and down, uncontested possession running game. But, they've shown bits and pieces. I reckon Moore probably got on top in the second quarter then, especially when we mentioned Bryan was a little bit sore or something was going on during that second quarter. But just a great game to get under their belts for both of them. 10
hit-outs apiece for Ned Moyle and Bryan as well, Nick Bryan. So they're sharing the spoils.
I love when they have String in the middle. They've got him in the middle now and Rao, but I love how they got, with both teams, they've got the blocker and the sweeper really far away from the centre circle, so the ability to come into the ball. And that's where you want Stringer. You want Stringer on the move. You want him, you don't want him in and under. You want him coming at the ball with pace, and that's what they've been able to do for the first half of this game.
Yeah, Durham and Merritt, the other two in the middle with Stringer, while it's Rao along with Anderson and Miller. As we're about to start the third term, the two rucks, Moyle and Bryan, were about to play this third term. 8 points the lead to Gold Coast, and Moyle wins that tap down, gets it to the outside for Rao. Clearance for the Suns, a left foot Torp, quick inside 50, spoiled away by Essendon's Ridley. Ball to Deck, and tackle applied by the Bombers. Martin, he wins the free kick. Holding the ball, Essendon with the footy in the back line. Switches it to Ridley in the opposite pocket. 3 bounces to half back for Jordan Ridley. Hand passes to McGrath. Hands it through Laverty. Now to Martin. Martin rushed at, but he gets his kick away. Looking for Perkins. Couldn't take the mark. Approaching as Heppel gathers. Hand passes to Caldwell, who picks it up near the bullseye. Does a 180 to kick to half forward right. Oh, 95% of that. McAndrew did enough to spoil, and he cleans up his own crumb. Suns have got it. He hand passes to Holman. Holman on to Graham, who runs hard through the halfway line, if there was one. Gives it on there to Rao. Rao kicks towards half forward, and the mark is taken by Ainsworth. The Suns bursting from half back, and Ainsworth hits King in the pocket, who takes the mark 30 out. But boy, that was
close.
Great work from Graham.
But that was great work by Graham, just to take off and create some space. But geez, right, that was in his hands. It should have been paid.
Yeah, that was a bit stiff. And it allows Ben King to have a shot on goal. He's already got 2 goals. Not the easiest of angles, but only 40 metres out. He's already kicked 2 goals, Ben King. Yes, he pumps his fist. He likes it. And the Suns are out to their biggest lead of the game. 14 points the advantage for the locals at 7-4-46 to 4-8-32. Zane Bojack on the boundary.
Oh, Q, I love the halfway line. I've been saying for years the AFL should implement 10-metre lines on these fields, and then you wouldn't know. You'd know if someone run too far.
Good on you, Zano. Ben King now, 35 for the season. He's tracking to easily have his best year. So had that knee injury in 2022 and didn't play. Year before kicked 47, year after kicked 40. So here we are, just halfway mark of the year, and he's already up to 35 goals.
He's fit, he's strong, his movement's had a great pre-season. It's showing right now, and he wears 34.
One behind Charlie Curnow in the Coleman race.
3 goals won and 5 score involvements for Ben King as we're back into the middle of Carrara with the Suns leading by 14 points. Comes off the hands there, a stringer, and then he toes it forward. Diving effort there from Fiorini. Couldn't quite pick it up. Rao could. Handball into Moyle in the middle of the ground. He gives it to Graham. Slips and then gives it to the run of Sexton. Oh, an overpowering handball actually hit Miller. He got back up, but Sexton kept running. He gathered. Kicks it inside 50. Ainsworth turned McGrath around. Then he gathers the ball on the boundary. Internal kick finds Fiorini. It's good running from the Suns straight down the middle. Fiorini marks it in the right forward pocket. He's about 30 metres out with his right leg. Will be about 2 metres from the boundary.
McGrath's been really, he's had a sensational year. These half forwards, he has to be accountable now on Ainsworth. That's where they're using those half forwards. They're using those small forwards now, and it's depleting the run off the half back line of those Bombers defenders.
So Braden Fiorini, a late in after Lloyd Johnston was pulled out of the game late for the Suns. From a tight angle, Fiorini, the left foot kick is pulled across the face of goal wildly. It's out of bounds on the full. No score as a result. 14 points remains the margin. Nearly 4 gone third term.
So what have the Bombers got to respond here? Far from outrageous, the deficit at 14 points, but the run of the game's been against them. Martin with the long inbound to left half back. Collins flew the pack off the back of Perkins to punch it to deck. Roved by the Bombers though. Langford with a hand pass to McGrath. Given to Perkins. Tackled mercilessly by Miller.
Holding. Played against.
Free kick goes to Perkins. Okay. He sets the ball out to the Nerang River wing where Menzies takes the mark for Essendon. Near the boundary, just forward of the wing. Kicks it to half forward. Guelphy, the target, coming from behind. Punched away by Jeffrey, but following up is Menzies. Wins the ball for the Bombers. His hand pass inside 50 is not anywhere near a teammate. It had some of the crowd and some of the Suns appealing for insufficient intent, but the umpire says throw it in. Bombers are in attack, having kicked 3 goals in the first term, but just 1 in the second term. It's Gold Coast leading by 14 points.
The throw in. Moyle versus Wright. Moyle got it down. It was roved by Anderson. It's just a 15-metre kick outside of defensive 50. It's gathered there by Merritt. His left foot kick inside the attacking arc, and it's McAndrew gets up with a big spoil. Roved by Berry. Handball Moyle, and now Fiorini goes through Sexton to the run of Graham. They're out of the 50 now, just short of centre wing. A handball skids to Ainsworth. He gives one to the run of Touk Miller. To right half forward, Ben Long versus Ben Mackay. And the taller of the Bens knocks it over the boundary line. It'll be a throw in at right half forward for the Suns.
The question with notice to Matt Primus, the former coach in the group. I mean, you don't want to get into a foot race with the Suns here, do you? And that's the question I think Brad Scott's got to answer at the moment.
I was just about to say that, Q. They are breaking down 50 to 70. They poor kicks, and then the ball's just rebounding off there, and that's causing a foot race. And as you say, the Suns will win that against most teams.
Cox roves the inbound, hand passes to Caldwell, tackled by Rao. Cox comes in to help it out. Bombers ball, hands it to Menzies, hands on to Durham, who has a fumble, under pressure from Anderson. Ball to be won on the edge of the centre square. Merritt tackled without it. Play on. Picked up by the Suns. Ainsworth with a hand pass to Fiorini, hands it to Miller, slotted it inside 50, and Long takes the mark. 30 out directly in front. And Ben Long, who already has 2 goals to go along with his 100th game milestone, is a chance to kick a third and to extend this lead to a game high.
Their ability to go attack, then defend, then attack is really, really spot on at the moment from the Suns. And they're running in waves. They're getting numbers behind. They're assisting each other, and they're rewarding those runners.
Ben Long from straight in front, right boot. 3 goals in his 100th game. And the Suns now to a game-high lead of 20 points. They've kicked the first 2 goals of the third term here. And the Bugle heralds an 8-4-52 to 4-8-32 scoreline at Carrara.
I love the move of him going forward. That's been a great move. Sexton down back, the run and dash, and uses the ball really, really well, and then putting Long up forward. The ability, he's like the Holman. They just create chaos. But they also goal kickers.
We're on track for a world record percentage of Bens kicking goals. It's now 7 of the 8 for the Suns have been kicked by Bens. Zeno, was that what you were going to tell us?
Oh, no, I was just going to say Dyson Heppel is going absolutely off his head down here at the bench. He might not be the skipper anymore, but he's always been a leader of this club, and he is not happy with what he's seeing from the Bombers at the moment.
Well, they need to arrest this. The Suns just looking faster across the ground here at Carrara. They love it here. They haven't lost a game here in season 2024, albeit with some away woes.
Richmond, Adelaide, Hawthorn, West Coast, that quartet so far. So this would be the biggest scalp if they could get it.
Back into the middle. It was Bryan who propelled it forward. Durham was immediately blanketed by Will Graham, tackled into the ground, and the umpire will come and ball it up just forward of the centre circles in the direction the Bombers are travelling. Moyle got rid of Bryan, slaps it into the path of Rowell. He kicks it off the deck to Ainsworth, garroted by Bailey Humphrey. His wide handball to the commentary wing. Lukosius measures a kick into the path of Ben King. In fact, it's too far in front of him. Bounces across the Carrara turf over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in at left half forward. 20 points to margin. The Suns leading this one with 8.5 gone of the third term on ABC Sport on a Sunday night.
7 of the last 8 goals in the game have been kicked by Gold Coast, Pricey.
Throw in across the arc. Moyle gets it down, then tries to retrieve his own ball. Gresham got in the way. Could have got a free kick for in the back, Gresham. Ball spilled to Cardwell. He gets it down the commentary wing. Attacked by Wright. Gathered by Cox. He's tackled down by Andrew. The ball spills into the corridor. And it's Ainsworth who gets to the ball first, but Durham gets to him, dumps him. The ball spills to Rowell. He's dumped and it spills out to the commentary wing. Comes through Graham, back to Andrew. He measures a pass and finds Ned Moyle, 70 from goal.
Hand passes to a runner infield. It's Closey. Can run to 52. Gets under his kick, Closey. It's a high ball towards the top of the goal mouth. Lukosius in front. He underran the ball, but roves the crumb. Hands it to Humphrey. This is a good young fella. Humphrey! Oh, it's across the face. And a point. Liked it for a moment. Hung up there for ages. Bombers have got to do something. It's only 21 points, Jeff and Matt, but they're coming to get them here at Carrara.
Yeah, they've got to try and hang on to the ball here and see if they can transition it just by some uncontested marks, short kicks. Otherwise, it's just going to turn into a contest foot race, and the Suns are all over him in that regard.
McGrath, short of centre wing. Peter Wright spoiled there by Andrew. That spills back to Wright. He slaps it into the path of Durham. Trying hard. He gets away from Rowell. Handball back to Redmond, who puts it into the corridor, into the middle, and finds Nick Martin. Now he tries to measure a pass. That's delightful. 40-metre hit, and it gets Nick Hine, who's tackled into the ground. That could be 50. No, Hine gives it back to Martin, who kept running. Goes one way, then the other. Chips it inside 50 to Merritt, and that is beautiful stuff. Nick Martin down the corridor, and the Bombers move it quickly.
I know Martin was good. Every time the ball gets in Hines' hand, he makes the correct decision. Either the way he disposes of it inside 50, or he gives it to a better or a dangerous player. But they need another 2 or 3 him out there to take advantage of their inside 50s.
I love how they reward those runners from behind.
Yep.
Sometimes you can really reserve yourself and not do that, and it allows the defenders to get back. I just love how they're just rewarding that.
So Zach Merritt has only had the 8 goals for the year from 40. He's put it across the face, and one behind results. 53 plays 33. Back to that 20-point margin in favour of the Suns with nearly 11 gone third term.
So, it wasn't an easy shot, but it's a bad miss at a time of need for the Bombers and an easy exit for the Suns. 2 kicks to the wing in a contest. King spoils the pack and does his own roving for Gold Coast. Dropped it. That's incorrect disposal. Good tackle made by Guelphy.
Q, that's about 4 times they've been lazy in kick-ins, and they've just given an easy, short 25-metre kick, and then the ball ends up on the wing. They've got to be quicker manning that up on a set shot.
And Matt Primus picking that up. It's a good point. Bombers conservatively backwards. Chip to Martin, chip to Laverty, chip to Ridley. He's all on the way back inside defensive 50. They're transferred to the outer side, marked by to McGrath. Now the run from Laverty, receives the hand pass, chips it. Mark is taken by Heppel. Hand passes to Gresham. Inside 50 kick. In front, Ballard. Spoiled away from Langford. Ball to Deck in the pocket. Closey there for the Suns. Can't pick it up. Hine does for Essendon, but he's slung over the line in a tackle. And the boundary is the ultimate victor. Throw in. Bombers in attack. Essendon trailing by 20 points. We've travelled 12 minutes in the third term.
Good result for the Bombers. Probably the first time the ball sat down there for about a quarter and a half.
Umpire throws it in left. Forward pocket for the Bombers right. Slaps it down into the path there of There's Noah Anderson there. He's absolutely smothered by Guelphy in the tackle, so the umpire will have to throw it up. 30 metres out from the Bombers' goal. Walter versus Wright. Walter slaps it forward. Humphrey roves. He's tackled. The ball held there by Heppel. 45 out. The umpire will come in and throw it up very quickly. Once again, Walter versus Wright. Wright uses his bulk. Gets it down there to Guelphy. The handball forward. Hewland busts a tackle. Gets it out to Sexton. Then to Flanders, who gets it back out to Will Graham. He's on the arc at right half back. A handball forward to Lukosius. He's got time to drop it, pick it up and kick it. Actually spoiled us. Lukosius is going to get the free kick on centre wing on the outer side.
Yeah, it was Closey who kicked it to him. Infield kick marked by Miller. Forward of the wing for the Suns. High kick inside 50, 2-on-2. Mackay tumbled to deck before the ball arrived. And we will probably get proof that there are two of them next Sunday night at the MCG. They both look like they're okay, don't they? It's going to be a huge game for the Bombers. Kick towards centre half back. Martin takes the mark. He kicks towards Wright, who's got the field to beat. Can't do so. Numbers for the Suns win out. Ballard rows. Hand passes to the wing. Play under advantage. There was a late free kick going to the Suns, but Anderson says, I'll roll on. Runs to the wing. Kicks to Holman. Marks. He's 60 out. Kicks deep to Long. He's got 3 already, but he can't mark that one. It's punched over for a behind by the spoil of Heppel.
The Bombers on the half-back line there getting slaughtered.
Whitey, have a gargle. 21 points to lead to the Suns.
A frog in the throat. We've all got him. Menzies gathers. Handball turnover. 70 from goal. Anderson's got it. Inside 50. Long's just smothered by players, and it's Mackay who floats back, takes the defensive mark, puts it forward to Archie Perkins. Straight down the corridor they go. Nice kick. Finds Durham. Durham's got another option. Kicks it there to Guelphy. Handball to the run of Jade Gresham, the former Saint. Beautiful pass to Langford. What a great spoil there from Ballard. Ball hits the deck. They've got it now. Here's Nick Martin running in from 10. Oh, boy. He torched an absolute cert. He's kicked it into the goalpost with such force it went into row 10. That is a bad miss for the Bombers.
Held on to it for too long. He was open for a...
He's missed that from 8 metres out. It's back to 20 points.
Oh, boy.
And on Whitey's point before their half-backs getting slaughtered, I reckon Whitey, they're making real poor decisions going inside 50, and then their half-backs are getting caught on the counter-attack because it's just bouncing out of there so quick.
There's that tacticking. It's short to Sexton and long to a contest for the Suns with the inbound. They're happy with the 50-50 at halfway here, Matt. Essendon's won this one. Redmond with a hand pass to Merritt. Essendon a chance to go back in as he evades the tackle of Miller. Kicks it to a 2-on-2. Hewland gets first hand and is paid the mark.
Another poor inside 50.
This is where they're breaking down the Bombers. They just can't get it past the half-forward line.
It was a free kick because Flanders plays on with the advantage. Gave it to Sexton. Kicks to right half back. Heppel arrives to make the spoil on Hewland and wins the Closey wins the football. Hands it to Hind. Chip inside 50. Harry Jones has got it. He's hard on the boundary, 35 metres out in the left forward pocket. Opens up his right boot. Doesn't go for goal. Kicks it to, Wright and Guelphy there outnumbered. Fisted off the pack. Perkins roves one way, the other. He's 40 out. Hand pass infield to Caldwell. Outside of the right boot, Jai Caldwell. That's the kind of magic the Bombers need on the coast. A much-needed goal for Essendon. Keeps them in the contest. Far from the regulation shot there from 40 metres out, but boy, well executed from Jai Caldwell, his first, and it's a 14-point lead to Gold Coast at Suns 8-6-54 to Bombers 5-4-40.
But they finally got a turnover on the on their half-forward line and repeat entries into forward line, so but it's a high intensity that they've got to be able to manufacture those goals. They want to be able to get it, use the ball better through the arcs, just to give themselves some better opportunities inside forward 50 for the Bombers.
So you hear the Bombers crowd here at Carrara come to life when they've kicked that one. They certainly have brought the visiting crowd here, Essendon, as they come to life here in the third term. 14 points the margin, the Suns lead. Here's another clearance for the Bombers. Merritt's handball finds Caldwell, but he dropped it. Comes backwards to right half back to Mason Redmond. He measures a pass to Hine, getting very involved. His 18th disposal now. He's on commentary wing, right against the boundary line, goes back inboard, finds Archie Perkins. He settles things down. Just about every player on the paddock in front of him. Now he goes long, inside 50. Big Peter Wright, the target, fisted forward there, off hands by Stringer. Harry Jones gets there, can't quite peel it in. Now it's with Gresham, tries to go through the tacklers, lets loose the ball. Essendon still with a chance. Gresham goes back in. Guelphy punched forward there by Harry Jones, loose into the pocket now. Ainsworth beats Langford for the ball. Turns around with the right foot and kicks it short of the wing. It's gathered by the Bombers' Mackay. Back to Merritt. He's got plenty of time to assess his options and then turns it over. Suns with the numbers. Collins with strength, and he was taken high. Just very calm. He gathers the free kick and gives it to Mac Andrew.
Andrew decides to go back to the pocket with a chip pass intended for Sexton, but Langford has pinched his pocket. And he hasn't done much for the Bombers today, Langford, but he gets his chance here with that errant clearing kick from Mac Andrew. He'll have a shot, tough angle.
What's he had, Price? Here we called him first. One kick in the first quarter.
Well, this will be his third of the game.
There you go, thank you.
Yeah. Been blanketed by Ballard and Collins, and hasn't had great delivery, but...
Runner-up in the best and fairest last year, where he was the leading goal kicker at the club. Langford, in a time of need for the Bombers, right foot near side, Hind. 13 points the lead to Gold Coast at 8-6-54 to 5-11. 41, you're hearing it on ABC Sport.
We're out again here, the Suns from their point kick in.
As
right down the middle of the wing.
Hewlin gathered at 40 out. Long kick down commentary wing, too far for his teammates, and it was nicely peeled in by Jordan Ridley. The same bit, just before he turned that over, Mac Andrew had 20 disposals at 100%. That was his first mistake. Kick forward now by Ridley, finds Perkins. Oh, his central kick is beautifully picked up by Merritt. On the half volley, he has a ping from 45. Hooks it around and one behind. It was a brilliant act, but couldn't quite follow that up. Now it's back to a 12-point margin, 2 even goals, 54 plays 42 in favour of the Suns.
I wonder whether the Bombers are going to get to the pocket for this short kick.
Yeah, they have.
They're getting split to bits with these kick-ins. Another one, Matt. So they go corridor now.
They guard the wide ones and the open
to Hewland. They're getting schooled in the exits here. Hewland's kick was hoping for Fiorini. Good spoil, though, by Guelphy coming back. So they didn't get it to halfway that time. But, yeah, the Suns are playing off the break there with those kick-ins.
Oh, yeah, they're just getting territory on them, and that's the number one thing you want from a kick-in.
Boundary throw-in, right half forward for Essendon, right to the front of the contest, taps it down, rode by Rowell of the Suns, though. Tackled, got a hand pass clear. Durham picks it up. Unreasonable amount of time to get rid of it. Holding the ball, free kick.
Unreasonable attempt.
Noah Anderson. And Anderson will get the free kick at left half back for the Suns, who lead it by 2 goals, but seem to be further in front, if you get my drift, which is good news for Bombers fans. There's plenty of time left.
The Bombers with more scoring shots. It's a beautiful kick into the corridor to find Jeffrey for the Gold Coast. Now he peels it around to the outer side, the Nerang River wing. Alex Sexton has a bounce, takes off, kicks it inside 50. Mackay in the box seat, spoiled by Lukosius. Front and square, Humphrey tackled there, holding the ball by Mackay, who followed up. Really good work from the big fella, got down and dirty, and the ball wasn't returned to him. Essendon fans wanted 50. Nothing happening here. Boy, there's brought a lot of fans here to have the Bombers as Mackay retains inside defensive 50. Laverty's got the ball, 40 out from his own goal. He goes forward now and into the corridor. Martin roaming free, so's Durham. Durham the target.
This is the kick, this next one.
As he surges forward now. It's a long kick into the pocket. Langford just got bodied out of it by Collins at the back of the pack. Stringer, he taps it towards the boundary line over. I'm not sure whether that was the intended idea, but it's going to work out well for the Bombers. They're throwing in the right forward pocket.
A good opportunity for them to set up.
Jeff White and Matt Primus, your experts. Quentin Hull and Michael Price calling the action at Carrara. Bombers in attack from the throw-in. Moyle taps down, but Hind roves and snaps a goal. Wow. And there's a kick in it. Nick Hind, who's had a great day for Essendon, running towards the right forward pocket boundary, snaps truly with his right boot from 25 from the Ned Moyle tap. It's Gold Coast 8-6-54 Essendon.
Elcool touched
6 goals, 12. What?
They all called touch the Suns defenders, so it'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We haven't gone to Noah, though, have we? It's the unofficial Noah.
Unofficial Noah, yes.
Unofficial Noah before the bounce.
Well, there's a...
So I just noticed that
Hold on. Now, the goal umpire has walked to the top of the goal square. And
he's saying come back. I've never seen that, where the goal umpire's actually just gesturing towards the rest of the umpiring fraternity.
It was the aforementioned tongue twister of Ned Moyle who got the tap.
There you go.
He was calling it.
The goal umpire's standing at the top of the goal square right now with both arms gesturing, saying, come back this way. Zano's on the bench.
Maybe just a nick from Moyle?
All the players were going to the umpire saying it was touched, and the goal umpire is still saying, come back.
Yeah.
So they've got to realise that he's got to communicate with someone.
Well, the goal, this is kind of farcical, Zano, isn't it? Because everybody's going back to the middle as if they're resetting. The goal umpire's standing in the goal square saying, get back, come back, and now he's thought...
So after all of that...
I've retreated. The unofficial arc has basically probably been overruled. We're back to the middle. They're still replaying it on the big screen, and the Suns fans are blowing up Royal.
That was touched.
It was, and it's dead set touched. Yep, farcical scenes here in the arc review.
We didn't go to the arc.
Well, the unofficial arc, the speedboat of reviews.
And here's the thing, the goal umpires are so used to not having to make a decision there now that they've just gone with the automatic thinking, they'll check it if it was touched.
Well,
goal stand, 6 points is the lead to Gold Coast.
Now it comes forward, the clearance from Rao, long kick, and Laverty pushes his opponent underneath and takes a nice defensive mark in the goal square. He wants to get out now. Nick Martin, the target, takes it right where the arc meets the boundary at right half back. Now he takes off towards commentary wing. Durham in the front position. Collins at the back. Through hands, Rao. Burst through Merritt. Handball now to Fiorini. He crosses the arc. Handball back to Anderson. Wheels the handball to the right forward pocket. Lukosius curls it around. Superb goal from the Gold Coast Suns. That's a great answer. Takes away from the controversy of the previous decision. 9-6-60 plays 6-12-48. Back to a 12-point margin in favour of the Suns.
What I really loved about that is that even though there was a lot of distractions going on, I really watched the midfielders of the Suns. They came in. Essendon didn't. They sort of went to a semi-zone, so to speak, but they called each other in and said, right, this is the play we want to run with. Obviously, that's what they spoke about. Won the centre bounce clearance. Really good leadership from there. I don't know who it was, Noah Anderson or Rao, but the tap went over. Rao got it inside forward 50. So really smart, great leadership there. Even though there was a lot of chaos going on, and they thought that they'd obviously been touched, get back on and focus on the process. Really good job by the Suns.
It was Anderson, Whitey. He was fun to the backs, get their mind back on the job, and great leadership. Well picked up.
2 goals the difference. Moyle with clean possession at ruck time for Gold Coast. Bangs it into attack. Humphrey the target. Spoiled away by the Bombers defender Heppel. Ball ricochets back towards the veteran. Tackled without it. Free kick. Pushing the back against Bailey Humphrey. And Heppel's at centre half back for Essendon. Kicks it wide to right half back. Martin takes the grab. Will play on. He's got a man over the top in McGrath, who receives the hand pass. McGrath hands it with a 1-2 to Cox, but the two didn't really work. It fumbles, though. Luckily to Menzies for Essendon. His kick forward not great. Caldwell was the target, and the intercept mark for the Suns is taken by Graham.
All night, that's where they've broken down.
Graham from defensive 50 left half back. Kicks back to the wing. Laverty tries to spoil from Walter. Walter wins the crumb, rides a tackle, got a hand pass free, advantage taken. Berry with a hand pass to Fiorini. Akers to bounce twice to 50, run to 40, ran a long way, stops infield with the kick, looking for King. It's spoiled away by Bryan, and the Bombers get the crumbs. Hand pass ends up with Durham, who kicks it wide to the outer side and then the Rang River wing. He's got a man there in Jones. Doesn't look forward. He chips it backwards along the deck to Guelphy. Hands it to Kelly, who's still on the wing. Now Kelly kicks Essendon to half forward. Stringer presents. Andrew spoils. Graham Robes and the Suns have got it.
It's Jeffrey now with the ball. He has a bounce. Right next to the boundary on the outer wing. Measures a kick and measures it badly. It's out of bounds on the fall. It was looking for the lead of Ainsworth.
Yeah, Braden Fiorini run an open goal then. I don't think he lost his faith in himself after that last set shot and tried to pass it off, but it should have been an easy goal for the Suns.
Well, he either had to give it to Lukosius, who was screaming for it inboard early, or have a go himself and did.
Or Ainsworth, who was in the goal square by himself.
There you go, one of the three. He did neither as the ball goes out to the outer wing. Narang River side, Dyson Heppel with it for the Bombers. Kicks it to left half forward. Oh, there's a good matchup. Stringer versus Collins, and they outmuscle each other. The ball goes off hands over the boundary. We'll get a throw in where the arc meets the boundary at left half forward for Essendon. They're trailing by 12 points.
In close to three-quarter time on this round. 12 closer that you're listening through ABC Sport. Boundary throw in. Bryan for the Bombers taps down, but no one at the coalface for him. Anderson toes it clear for the Suns. Heppel on the wing, though, picks it up for Essendon. Quick hand pass to Kelly. Hands to Durham. Hands it off to McGrath. McGrath from 70 bangs it to full forward right. Can't get to the grab. It's spoiled away by the Suns defence. Kept in, is it? Nope. Gresham was trying to keep it alive near the boundary line, but it's out of play for a throw-in in the left forward pocket for Essendon.
Geez, the Suns' spoils tonight have been outstanding down back. Back Andrew,
Ballard.
Collins, Ballard just then. Just the ability to kill the ball in the air has been outstanding.
Lots of forward entries for the Bombers this term. Boundary throw in, right doing ruck, taps down to Caldwell, under pressure, turns over his handball, picked up by Collins of the Suns, hands it to Anderson, hand to Fiorini, his handball pinched, ends up with Stringer, one step bang on the right, and he's missed it. Across the face, 11 points the lead to Gold Coast as Essendon moved to 6 goals, 13-49, playing 9-6-60.
And once again, the Suns go into the left-back pocket to find Hewland. He measures another kick. Too easy again out of the defensive 50 for the Suns as Fiorini takes it at left half-back with his back 70 from his own goal. Takes his time. He's looking back across and now directed to go long up the line, which he does. In the direction of Moyle. Oh, just falls short. Laverty got there first. He was spoiled. Durham front and square, can't pick it up. Caldwell does. He's immediately claimed one side by Flanders and the other side by Rowell. And they're going to, I was going to say, that would be very stiff to have that ping for holding the ball and some sensible umpiring. It's going to be balled up. On centre wing, commentary side.
The funny thing was, all the rucks left because they thought it was going to be holding the ball.
Umpire throws it up. Moyle gets thrown down without it. Rove by Gresham.
That lot.
So unreasonable. Kicked inside 50, and it's taken there by the Suns. Straight down the middle. Here's Humphrey.
Marks it sort of the centre bullseye. Wobbly kick to half forward, looking for Ben Long, who's got a couple against him. He taps it away from his immediate defender and regathers 30 out. Swivels on his right, snaps it to the goal mouth. 2-on-1 Bombers. And the siren saves them as much as the spoil from Heppel did. And that is three-quarter time at Carrara. And we've got a contest with half an hour to play. It's Gold Coast leading by 11 points at 9-6-60 to 6-13. That's right, 6-13-49. So Gold Coast kicked 3-2 to Essendon's 2-5 in that quarter. 3-2 to 2-5. Bombers led by 9 points at quarter time. 8 points was the margin in favour of Gold Coast at half time. And now it's 11 points at 9-6-60 to 6-13-45. And the Bens have kicked 7 of the 9 goals for Gold Coast. 3 of them to Ben King, 3 of them to Ben Long, 1 of them to Ben Ainsworth. The other 2, Jack Lukosius and Bailey Humphrey. Essendon's 6 goals. Hind, Caldwell, Cox, Kelly, Jones and Wright. Hind, Caldwell, Cox, Kelly, Jones and Wright, the individuals for Essendon. Earlier today it was the Dockers by 92 points in a Traeger Park mauling over the Demons. 22 goals, 9, 141 to Melbourne, 7-7-49. And in the National Rugby League, the Roosters taking on North Queensland. That game is pretty much close to full time. About 10 minutes to go. Roosters 16, Cowboys 16. So 16 all. And I've been keeping an eye on the official announcement. Oh, no, full-time Cowboys have won it. You've got an updated score. Matt Primus, good on you. 18-16 to the Cows.
Yep.
North Queensland, well done. You haven't got an update on the match review, though. I've been looking at that to see what news is no news from Harley Reid. I haven't got anything yet. That's been the big wait, isn't it?
Yep.
Match review. Still don't have anything as yet on that sling tackle from the Rising Star favourite.
Yeah, and what about all this conversation as soon as a rising star gets knocked over, and of course we've had Darcy as well get a couple of weeks, the argument's been, should the fairest element be taken out of the award? And it's like, I don't know. What's your point of view on that?
It went through my mind, I see. Well, news on that after commitments at three-quarter time here. Gold Coast lead by 11 points. You'll be hearing it all on ABC Sport.
The Men's T20 Cricket World Cup.
He's bowled. That's it.
Live from the USA and West Indies.
What about that? Unbelievable.
Catch all the action on the ABC Listen app.
G'day, Patrick Stack here from ABC Sport Daily. If you love sport...
And I really sense he wants to keep going. The Olympics are coming up in Paris. The tennis event will be played at Roland Garros.
And great conversation.
Patrick, I'd love $1 for the number of times that I've heard that cricket is about to break out in the US.
Then you'll love ABC Sport Daily.
You know, Billy Slater, everything that he's touched as Queensland coach so far has turned to gold.
ABC Sport Daily. Get it on the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Rao kicks towards half forward and the mark is taken by Ainsworth. The Suns bursting from half back and Ainsworth hits King in the pocket, who takes the mark 30 out. He's already kicked 2 goals, Ben King. Yes, he pumps his fist. He likes it. Ball to be one on the edge of the centre square. Merritt tackled without it. Play on. Picked up by the Suns. Ainsworth with a hand pass to Fiorini. Hands it to Miller. Slotted to inside 50 and Long takes the mark. Ben Long from straight in front. Right boot. 3 goals in his 100th game. Guelphy there outnumbered. Fisted off the pack. Perkins roves. One way, the other. He's 40 out. Hand pass infield to Caldwell. Outside of the right boot. Jai Caldwell. That's the kind of magic the Bombers need on the coast. Moyle taps down, but Hind roves and snaps a goal. And there's a kick in it.
Through hands, Rao. Burst through Merritt. Handball now to Fiorini. He crosses the arc. Handball back to Anderson. Wheels the handball to the right forward pocket. Lukosius curls it around. Superb goal from the Gold Coast Suns.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Suns unbeaten at Carrara this year. The Bombers charging their way to the top 4 halfway through the season. What a final term we've got for you. Gold Coast leading by 11 points. 9-6-60 to Essendon 6-13-49. Quentin Hull and the team with you, Matt Primus and Jeff White. I reckon this is a great sell for Brad Scott at three-quarter time. I think they've done enough. They're not going to lose too many friends if they come away having been competitive and good here. But I reckon there's a lot to lose for the Suns in this last term. Wondering whether the narrative's going to change for Dimmer's team. They've been good through the first half of the season under Stewie Dew, but they've fallen away in the second. A big 30 minutes, I think, for both teams, and I reckon it's a free shot for the Bombers.
I agree, Cuba. I reckon Essendon, their belief in themselves, probably, hey, if we want to be a really, really good team, we've got to come through and win this game. Where the Suns, if they want to play finals, which everyone, the big heads are saying that they need to play finals, well, they need to win these games. Beat the teams that are obviously above them and around them. They need to go on and win this game because they've played great footy for the last 2 quarters, but are they going to collapse under a bit of pressure from Essendon, or will they stand up to it? So, great answers in 30 minutes by both clubs here to see who is fair dinkum.
And to see which side's the fittest. It's very even contest, playing very similar style of footy at the moment. But I reckon Brad Scott has said to his players, let's take this, let's go for it. For too long, the Bombers supporters have been, we've just sort of been there. No. Let's put a stamp on this right now. They're second on the ladder. Chance to cement themselves as second on the ladder. Let's go for it.
11 points the Suns lead as we get into this final term in gorgeous conditions at Carrara. Here's Michael Price.
So it's Moyle versus Bryan. I'll give that one to Moyle. The roving done by Touk Miller, immediately tackled by Merritt, and the umpire's going to come in and throw it up again just forward of the centre circles. This one I'll give to Bryan. Once again, Miller gets there first, gets the handball away, a dubious one at best. It's towed forward by Moyle. Gets in the way, does Berry. It was Rowell who came forward and tried to pick the ball up in the traffic, and he was immediately claimed. So it's pretty scrappy at the start of the final term. Umpire's going to throw it up immediately. Bryan gets it down again. Once again, Miller. This time he gets a foot to it. It gets to the arc, and that's a nice sliding, diving mark taken in defence for Essendon by Jaden Laverty.
Left half back and taking his time. He's got Perkins on short. If he wants, ignores that. Kicks to a longer contest on the wing. Bryan in front, spoiled by Moyle. Coming through, it's tapped by Closey of the Suns to Rowell. Picked up by Rowley, hands it to Andrew. Andrew hands it to Sexton on the wing. Under pressure, his kick goes back to where it came from in the start. Left half back, Laverty takes the grab for Essendon. Dangerous kick inside 50, went to the deck, and Walter applies a tackle. But no prior for Jordan Ridley.
Wow,
all up.
Paying that all weekend.
The fans think that's unreasonable, Q.
Will be thrown in the air 50 metres from the Suns' goal. Bryan gets the tap. Who gets the rove? Martin for Essendon. Good pick up and Hoover. He hands it to Heppel. Hands it off to Durrant. Kick to the wing. Goes over the head of Wright and Andrew. Out the back. Flanders racing to meet it. Couldn't pick it up. Guelphy toes it along the deck. Out of play. Without intent to keep it in. A free kick that potentially may not have been paid in postcode starting with 3, but it's paid in the postcode starting with 4.
Let's just bring in the lasso as we've got in AFLW and stop mucking around with that absolute blight on the game. Anyway, written and authorised by me. Flanders goes back inboard to the corridor to find Alex Sexton. We'll take away all of the debate with the lasso rule.
This between the arcs is very important for both sides.
So it's Sexton who's made the transition onto half-back and playing very well. A long kick to right half-forward. Big fly from Moyle. Couldn't quite bring it down. Roving was Rowell. He let loose the ball. It's towed forward for the Bombers. Chance for Merritt. Very well controlled around the ankles. And then the blind handball into the corridor to the run of Guelphy. Guelphy long at the back. Juggling effort from Langford, and then Stringer gets involved. So does Collins. The ball spills between the pair of them. Langford gets back involved, picks it up, gets around, tackled by Hewlin. Didn't quite get his foot to the ball. Picked up by Cox, who slotted it through. Will they award the goal? What's going on here? Goal umpire's confused. No, it's a goal to Cox. Crowd doesn't like it. That's his second, and the Bombers edge closer. It's only a 5-point margin. 9-6-60, play 7-13-55.
Hadn't been enough of that tonight, that the pressure on the Suns once they won the ball back. It wasn't a great inside 50 again. It wasn't an advantage to any of the Essendon forwards, where they brought it to ground. Then they just harassed and got at the Suns defenders. And eventually, through a couple of efforts, the ball just hitting a couple of feet, they're able to get a goal out of it. Terrific pressure by the Essendon forwards.
Just great desperation by both sides to be there. But great to see that from Essendon. They've lacked that. They had that in the first quarter.
I'll tell you what, the arc controversy of the previous quarter might come to bear if this is a kick one way or the other. If you missed it, Ed Moore claiming he touched the goal from Nick Hind. The goal umpire wanted further review, but nothing to change that score. Back in the middle. It's 5 points the lead to Gold Coast, and the clearance for Bryan of Essendon rushes it inside 50. Great courage from Hewland, running with the flight to take a defender's mark for the Suns. 40 from the goal he's defending. Chips a short pass to Ballard. Marks and chips to Andrew. Takes the mark just forward of defensive 50 at right half back. Mac Andrews had a stack of it. It's been Mac time at Carrara tonight. This is touch 22. Long kick towards the wing. Walter to the front. First hand. Chop of the arms. No mark. Play on. Rowell picks up for the Suns. Hands it to Long. Long to Berry. Berry tackled in the crunch there of Ridley. Play on. Ball spills free. Closey kicks it to the pocket. Looking for King. Spoiled out of play by his immediate opponent, Mackay. Boundary throw in right forward pocket for the Suns, who lead it by 5 points.
Odie Hewlin's got 10 marks in defence for the Gold Coast Suns to lead their charges. Throw in is shallow. Moyle toes it forward, overrun by Long. Heppel gathers, got the handball away to Redmond. Redmond now gives it off. Oh, it's Perkins who slung around in the tackle, gave it back to Heppel. He measures a pass beautifully. Finds Peter Wright in front of Mac Andrew. Now, he's just forward of left half back for the Bombers. He's gesturing. He's going to go long down the line. Does so. To him, that is very long. Beyond centre wing. Off hands. Durham has the ball knocked out of his hands into the arms of Ballard. He fists it forward now to Rowell on the logo. He lowers the eyes. Finds Long. Oh, beautifully at centre half forward. He wheels around. Holman loose. Finds him 25 metres out. But he's right against the boundary line. He'll have to have a shot and curl it back around on the left peg.
That patience there from Rowell. There was no one forward of centre. There was no one inside forward 50 at that point in time. So just the patience to do that was outstanding.
So Holman, a role player for the Suns, curls it around short. It is only one behind. It's a 6-point margin. 61 plays 55 in favour of the Suns. Zane Bojak's on the boundary.
Yeah, Langford's in a lot of pain down here on the bench. I think it might be the side. I can see the padding that he's got there. It's on his side, just above his hip. He's really feeling it there, and I think he's not going to be able to go on. He's in so much pain.
Ridley receives the short kicking in the pocket for the Bombers. Kicks it to the presenting Wright. He has been huge today, Peter Wright. Takes the grab in front of Closey.
I think the Suns are happy for him to have it there, though.
Yep. Yeah. They needed to switch and get some uncontested here instead of long down the line from that Whitey.
There's the switch to Redmond on the opposite side of the ground. He marks and chips to McGrath. Marks, he's at right half back. Hand passes to Ridley. Oh. Ridley chips a ball along the wing. Gathered on the bounce by Caldwell. He made good of a bad kick, Matt. Caldwell's kick to half forward. It's been marked by Durham. Is that 50? Yes, it is. Oh. Charlie Ballard grabbed him when he shouldn't have. And this will be a goal from the goal line, which will level the scores at Carrara.
That's a you could tell he went. You could tell he went then, and Ballard was onto him, but
well, he was.
He didn't call.
What is Charlie Ballard supposed to do exactly?
Stand.
He is to stand, and play on was not called because players were too quick for the whistle there, and Durham, nonetheless, marched to full forward, bangs the goal. Hang on to your hats on the coast. 7 minutes into the final term, and the Suns and the Dons are locked at 61. Zane Bojack on the boundary.
Yeah, Kyle Langford's gone into the dressing room. He is in serious discomfort. I don't know whether he can come back. Sardis has started warming up, but he hasn't been activated yet.
What made it hard then for Ballard was the Essendon guy marked it right on top of each other. So he took a step left to play on the Essendon player, and because Chuck was so close to him, he tackled him straight away. If he had had a gap, he would have stood, but that made it difficult. But good counter-attack. Whitey mentioned Peter right up the ground, but then he switched the ball, got it to the open side, and that's when Essendon looked really dangerous.
It was a reflex action.
But you'd see he was going to hand pass it.
Yeah.
He had someone coming past him, so... Yeah, it's a fun
The
line,
game is full of grey area. Let that be grey and let them play from that point.
Back into the middle of Carrara. It is a hot game we've got here on a cool evening. Slap forward by Moyle. Right. Well done by Rowell. Ducked under a tackle. Gave the handball off to Touk Miller. Long kick in the King direction. Floating across Long. In his 100th game, he's got 3 goals, Ben Long. He takes a mark at the top of the goal square.
They put Dylan Moore in the forward line for Hawthorn, and then they put Ben Long in the forward line for the Suns, just as a small forward. Oh, my God, he's been great over this last month.
His 9th disposal. Coming up for Ben Long. 5 score involvements, looking for his 4th goal. Oh, he makes the goal umpire work, but he slots it through. Suns back in front by a goal. 67 plays 61. And we have played 9 minutes of this final term. Zane Bojak's in the boundary line.
Yeah, Doc has come out and said Langford's no good, and Sardis has taken off his shirt. He's ready to go. He's wearing the number 5.
Thanks, Zane. Goal the difference. Ben Long has 4 goals in his 100th game.
And they just put Stringer back into the centre bounce. Rowell was just too strong for any of the Essendon mids then, and just bullied his way to get out the front door. Stringer's now gone in, and I don't know whether he'll be the matchup for Rowell, but it's a bigger body in there for him.
It's super effort. The other thing the Suns have got to think about is their sub. They've got Swallow, and they've used him, when they've brought him on, they've used him as a forward, and he's been he's had scoreboard pressure, so very interesting to see how they use the sub in this quarter.
Clearly a career best day in front of goal for Ben Long. 4 goals in his 100th. Centre bounce. Bryan with the tap down for the Bombers. Roved by Essendon's Caldwell. His rush kick to half forward is intercepted by Hewland.
He's read the ball very well tonight.
Hewland takes the grab and chips it wide to Anderson. Anderson marks for the Suns just forward of right half back. 10 minutes played final term. You're hearing it on ABC Sport. Gold Coast by a goal as Anderson kicks long down the line to the wing. 2-on-2 contest. Bombers' hands too good there. Mark taken by Ridley in the pack. Great mark. So Essendon to go forward once more. Ridley kicks a high ball to half forward. Rights the target. Andrew flies to make the spoil. Anderson rows for the Suns. Hand passes to Graham in congestion. Now they get out. Hands it to the outside for Jeffrey. Hands to Sexton. Hands to Miller, who was tackled by McGrath. Illegal disposal. angle. Play on. Jones picks up from 60 and bangs it to Menzies in the pocket. He takes the mark uncontested. 15 out, tough angle.
Great defence from the Bombers at centre half forward then. Just great balance too. They could have easily had 2 go to 1, but they fanned off really, really well and had great balance.
Jai Menzies setting up for the left-footed snap punt. Hard in the right forward pocket, but only 15 metres out. To level the scores once more, Menzies snaps on his left and kicks the goal. 67 apiece. 11 minutes played in this Carrara thriller in the final term. Zane Bojack on the boundary.
And Dimmer's made his move, and the Swallows coming on now, and he's replacing Bailey Humphrey.
Well, I thank you, Zane. That's an interesting one.
Small forward, small forward. Yeah. Every time they've brought Swallow on, they've always put him forward. So
a mid-forward for a mid-forward.
Mid-forward for a mid-forward, yeah.
So both subs activated now. There's Kyle Langford off for the Bombers. And Elijah Sartis on for them. Oh, the crowd going off now.
What a cracking game to end the round.
It's a beauty. 67 apiece here at Carrara. The crowd ignited here. Back into the middle. It's Ned Moyle versus Nick Bryan for the Bombers. Perfect bounce. It lands on the head of Bryan and then bounces off into the hands of Noah Anderson. He has a bounce. Kicks it inside 50. King came out and hit him on the chest. There was a kick that actually screamed, "Get to this space." He hit it. Takes the mark 20 metres out, slight angle to the left.
Brilliant, Pricey, yeah.
You got to love the ownership, don't you, of the Suns out of the centre. Every time this quarter, when the Bombers have kicked a goal, they've responded straight away by a centre bounce clearance.
Rao last time and Anderson this time.
3 goals for Ben King tonight. Shooting at his 4th. No problem for Ben King. The Suns retain the lead, or regain the lead, 11-7-73 to 9-13-67. 17 minutes gone to the final term on ABC Sport on a Sunday night. What a ripping game, fellas.
It's just great to see. And so the Suns now will be going, we've got to get another centre bounce clearance. And Essendon, they've got to match them here. They've got to try and wrestle, get the momentum going back that way.
I love this. We get to the second part of the final term. And if each team is going to be what they want to be, they got to win this game.
Spot on, Q.
Yeah.
If the Suns are going to be who they want to be, they've got to defend their home patch. And if the Bombers are going to be what they want to be, a top 4 team in 2024, they win it from here.
Interesting. Swallow went straight into the centre bounce. He swaps with Tuke Miller after it, but some fresh legs in the middle of the ground when it's 3-on-3 in there.
Oh, the diff. It's been 3-2 Essendon's way in this final term. Not a great bounce. It favoured Bryan, so the umpire calls it. Walton had given no attempt to contest that bounce.
The Swallow goes to Durham too, so really good match up there. Good big body, boys.
So the temporary ruck's in the middle. Well, for the Suns anyway, Bryan.
Free kick against.
Oh.
Shepherded him out, yeah.
Really, that goes to Walter. I thought he fell over.
No, when he was in the air, he shepherded him out. So
I'm not going to argue with you with Ruckcraft, Whitey. Walter with the free... No, see, it wasn't his free kick. It was Anderson who was off the play. I didn't think there was a ruck infringement. Anyway, Anderson's got the free kick, kicks it to Hewland, marks it 2 kicks from goal, bangs a deep entry. King out the back, he's got a chance. Mackay chases him, makes the pressure, ball to the boundary line, kept in by Ainsworth, snaps it back towards the corridor, and well placed. Martin is there in a time of need for Essendon to take the mark on that inbound hack. He's got it just forward of right half back for the Bombers. Great kick across the face of goal to Heppel, who marks it at left half back, and he's got a runner ramping around. That is Ridley, receives the hand pass, kicks to Caldwell in space on the wing. He's got time to mark and play on. Caldwell kicks to a one-on-one there. The target is Menzies. Did well to win the ball. Not a great entry, though, with his kick. And it's marked by Flanders of the Suns, 40 metres from the goal he's defending.
Disposal number 29 for Sam Flanders. It goes back to Bodie Hewland, and that is his 13th mark game high. He goes forward now just to find Charlie Ballard, and they're still inside defensive 50. Ballard's actually only 25 metres from his own goal.
Essendon, they're set up really well here.
Long kick from Ballard to centre wing, commentary side. King battles his way to the front. Off hands, beautifully rowed by David Swallow. He puts the handball out, towed forward by Anderson. Cut off for the Bombers. Ridley got the handball away. Intercepted now. It's at ground level. Walter with his bulk. Grabbed the ball. Handball forward to Long. Long skids it to the goal square. Picked up by Lukosius. And he kicks it just about into the roof.
He did hit the roof.
At the back, Jack Lukosius kicks his second, and the Suns are up by 2 goals. Boy, oh boy, I've never seen a player kick the ball that high from as close as he did. Lukosius has hit the scaffolding at the top.
Just that pressure, that pressure through the arcs. Both sides have been like that, but a little bit of a mistake, but they pounced on it, the Suns. And then they just had enough poise. And great kick there from Long just to skiddy it along because he had someone coming at him.
Great composure.
Great composure.
Guys kicked 4 goals, didn't blaze away. Yep. Basically grubbered it for Lukosius in the goal mouth. So that's 3 of the last 4 goals in the game to Gold Coast. The Bombers have drawn level twice, but they're yet to hit the lead. It's the Suns leading by 2 kicks. Centre bounce. Walter had a play it, couldn't pick it up. Merritt tries, still at the deck of the pack. Merritt goes again, farms it out, Bombers ball. Hand pass to Durham, hands it on to Wright. Wide kick mark by Hine, 55 out. Plays on, doesn't go for. Did he go for goal? He kicked it over the head of the leading target, and Jones has gone through for a point. One of those half and half. I didn't know whether he's hitting him up or kicking for goal. It's gone through for a behind. He's berating himself, Nick Hind. 11 points the lead to Gold Coast. 79 plays 68.
So once again, Flanders ambles out of the goal square, kicks it to right half back, and it's an easy kick and easily taken mark by Joel Jeffrey.
They've gained a lot of metres from their point kick-ins tonight, haven't they?
Just made it look a little too easy against the Bombers there. Right half back, Jeffrey goes long down the line. Commentary wing, Walters at the back. He battled well with Peter Wright, got it down to ground. Rowell shot the handball out to looking for Anderson, got the 1-2 back, flicked into the middle. Flanders kept running. Now he flares it right across to the other side of the ground. Ainsworth has got some open space to work in. Gathers on the bounce, kicks it, floating across now. Could have been a free kick against Ben Long for an early jump. It wasn't taken, but the mark was taken by Tom Berry. Not exactly a high flyer, Thomas Berry, the former Lion. I thought Ben Long might have infringed there early with the early jump, but 40 metres out directly in front, Berry's going to have a shot. They lead by 11 points, the Suns. From 45 out, Tom Berry, not a noted goal kicker. He ploughs it through. The Suns up by 17 points all of a sudden. 13-7-85, plays 9-14-68. The crowd loving it here at Carraro. Nearly 19 minutes gone, final term.
Yeah, they just stifled Essendon's run the last 5 or 6, and then they were super strong, and those ground balls through there. There's some great handballs with some big heat coming from Essendon, but they were able to get the open ball and then go to open side. And then when all night, when they've looked open side and then gone inside 50, they've looked super dangerous, as they did on that occasion. And once again, they've converted really well in front of goal. 15 goals, 7.
Swallow has had 2-3 contests on the ground, clean, that there to get over to Flanders. But I love what Ainsworth did then. He turned around, hit back into the corridor.
Good response from the Suns. They've kicked the last 3. And 17 points is the lead for Gold Coast. There's still about 8.5 minutes of playing time left. Centre bounce, it's Wright and Moyle. Wright taps down. Gresham comes through, had it and lost it. Tackled by Rowell, picked up by Moyle. Ineffective hand pass. Merritt gets it forward for the Bombers. Out the back door, in fact, he gave it to Heppel. Heppel's rush kick to the wing, met by Guelphy. Makes it good. Takes the chest mark just forward of the wing. Will set Essendon inside 50. A high, wide entry on the head of Jones. Collins makes the spoil. Beautiful punch. Roved there by Ballard, who hands it off to Rowell. Rowell's kick smothered though. Great work by the Bombers. Guelphy taps it out the back. He's got help from Cordwell. Hands it on to Merritt. Merritt to Heppel. Heppel back to Merritt. Chain of hands. Merritt 70 out hard on the boundary. Kicks it inside 50. Off hands. Guelphy roves. Kicks it into the pack. The ricochet's important. Gresham bursts through as if he's playing Origin footy. Got a hand pass to Jones. Back to Guelphy. Hands to the top of the square. And Nick Cox kicks the goal. Oh, Jake Gresham, he made that, and Cox finishes it for his 3rd. Game needed it. Bombers needed it. 11 points is the margin at 13-7-85 to 10-14-74.
Hard work. The Suns defenders have made them earn every shot on goal tonight, haven't they? And that occasion then they brought a great pressure to them, but Essendon were too good, and what a great response.
Hey, Gresham and to get his hands free, take the tackle, beat two Suns players, then take the tackle, get his hands clear, and then get it off. Outstanding effort there.
Big centre bounce coming here.
Yep.
Zach Merritt's got 32 disposals now and 7 clearances, which is equal game high with Anderson and Rao. Back into the middle of Carrara. Crowd loving this one. 21 minutes gone of the final term. This has been a brilliant game of football. Back into the middle. Moyle versus Peter Wright. Moyle gets it forward, but it's going to be picked up by the Bombers. Gresham getting involved at the back of the pack. He floats it towards centre wing out of side. Beautiful pick up. Half volley from Hind and delivers a lace-out pass to find Guelphy 50 metres out. Nick Hind. Superb. The handball backwards to Stringer. Under pressure. He only gets it to the top of the square. Off hands rowed by Flanders. Handball Andrew. Over the top the handball Sexton. Now another hand pass to Holman. They run it out to Berry outside the arc. Berry handball to nobody. Guelphy picks it up and misses the target. Handballed it over the boundary line at left half forward for the Bombers. It's going to be, he was dumped after he handballed it, so it will be a Bombers free kick. It's coming back against Anderson.
The umpire in the middle of the ground, Price, saw that.
It's going to go to Dyson Heppel. 60 metres out. His left leg's going to be a couple of metres from the boundary. So the Bombers with a chance. They only trail by 11 points. Heppel lowers the eyes. Stringer juggles. Despite the efforts from Matt Rao, Jake Stringer takes the mark. 40 out, tight angle, means nothing to this guy.
Geez, that was a good set play by the Bombers. They actually dragged all the Gold Coast Suns players away to almost the fat side, left up the skinny side open, and Jake Stringer, that's where he came into.
2 behinds for the night to Jake Stringer. He's going to kick it from where the arc meets the boundary, at left half forward. Bombers need it. He hooks it wildly. The crowd love it here because it's out of bounds on the full. 11 points the margin. The Suns still lead. 23 minutes gone, final term.
6 minutes and 22 seconds left in the game. As Andrew will inbound for the Suns. It's a long kick to a pack near the wing. King there for Gold Coast to bring it to ground level. Rao does the roving, hacks a 50-metre territory gainer. To half forward, Lukosius is there. He's got Ridley for company. Ridley had it, lost it. Lukosius handballed it into the boot of the oncoming third Bomber. And that was Kelly. It's out of bounds off shin, but not out of bounds on the full. It's a throw-in.
It's almost like a basketball thing where you hand pass it off and he was trying to get out in the full. So,
but just didn't work. Throwing it right half forward for Gold Coast. Left half back for Essendon. Both teams have kicked 4 goals in this final term. It's the 3/4 time margin of 11 points in favour of Gold Coast. Boundary throwing. No telling clearance. Perkins kicks it off the ground. Gains 15 metres for his team beyond the wing. Hind gains another 15 metres by kicking it off the ground. And the umpire, that is paid insufficient intent. And the free kick goes to Sam Collins.
Geez, Hind was lucky then because
I've got a young fella who's an umpire. I hope he's got more feel for the game than that. So I won't say anything more about the officiating.
Sure you're coaching properly, Hugh.
Collins with the kick to a contest, and it's off knuckles and out of play.
I bet you're a young fella. He's got more sense than that, Q. I like him. And it's
we really enjoyed Ben Cameron's chat with Steve McBurney when he was on the pre-game show on Saturday. Had a couple of very interested listeners while we were driving around listening to him. Says a lot of good stuff, but they've got to help themselves sometimes.
A throw in next to the interchange gates, commentary side. Bombers need something. Rowell explodes onto the contest. Handball to Miller. Miller's looping handball into the middle of the ground. Sexton couldn't get a handle on it. Gathers, tackled. He turns it over. Menzie, he gathered. He missed the ball. No holding the ball requirement. Jeffrey picks it up. He's tackled. And plenty of reasonable time to get rid of it, apparently. Ball held to him. Umpire's going to throw it up just forward to the centre circles. It's in favour of the Bombers.
11 points to lead to Gold Coast. Caldwell throws himself at the ball, won it. Hands it to Merritt. Merritt's hand pass into the body of Anderson. Pinched by the Suns. He gave to Miller. Tozer kick to half forward. Walter leading out fell over. Coming back, Kelly for the Bombers. Out hustled by Berry. Couldn't win it, but picked up by Redmond for Essendon. Runs to left half back. They're out of immediate danger. Essendon hand pass to Sardis. His kick is poor. The subs turned it over. He's kicked it straight to Anderson of Gold Coast. Hands to Rowell. Hands to Miller. He bangs it to full forward. 2-on-2. The men collide. Ball to deck along with the players as well. King kept his footing. He's tackled by Mackay. Anderson, Ainsworth has it and McGrath wraps him up. And that's a free kick going to McGrath.
Wow. Jeez, they've got to pick up Bombers. The last three stoppages have left Miller free. Yeah, he's got both of them.
Once again, Essendon now, they extract it. Hine, good chase there from Lukosius, but he let him go. Hine keeps bouncing, goes down the Nerang River wing like the Commonwealth Games a few years ago. Long kick towards half forward off the hands of Harry Jones. Rove there by Sexton. Got the handball away. It was dubious. It ends up with McAndrew now. Handball backwards to Miller under enormous pressure. He gets it outside the arc. Fiorini goes with Caldwell one-on-one. Ball stuck underneath the pair of them. Good battle. Umpire's going to come in and throw it up 55 outright half forward for the Bombers.
Oh, what a game.
See crazy things these days, but in all essence, Bombers need 2 goals in 4 minutes to win it. 11 points is the margin. Time against Essendon as much as the clock. Suns at left half back. Anderson under the contest. Tackled, got rid of it. Rowell tackled by McGrath. Got rid of it. Stolen by Bryan of Essendon. Hold on. Whistle was there? No. Play on. Out the back it goes. Laverty with a high kick inside 50. Collins can't mark. He had a chance, the big full back. He fumbled it in the pocket. And what should have been a mark and a set play to get out of trouble, it's now a boundary throw in for Essendon in attack. 40 metres from the northern goal. Score check at Carrara. Suns 13-7-85. Bombers 10-14-74. We've travelled 27 and a half.
Throw-in comes off the hands. Noah Anderson tumbles it outside a defensive 50. It's picked up short of centre wing by Ben Mackay. Back inside 50. Ballard fists it forward. There's been a whistle on play. It's going to be a Gold Coast free kick. It's a hold, and it looks like it's going to go to Alex Sexton against Jake Stringer.
A lot of tired players out here. The ball's been out the outside. No one's been able to rotate. A lot of tired guys. Bit of composure.
This is where Bombers are going to be on their toes now because they're going to try and chip it around the Suns.
Well, they just did. Sexton over to Flanders, still inside defensive 50. He goes long now to the outer wing. Fisted forward by the Bombers' defence. Here's a chance for Hind, who's been brilliant tonight. Got the handball away. It's Sardis who gets it into Stringer's ball by Ulan. Here's a chance at ground level. They couldn't take it, the Bombers, through Perkins. It's going to be a high shot. It will be a Bombers free kick, and it's going to go back. Guelphy. It's going to be Matt Guelphy who takes it 45 out. Very tight angle to the right. His right leg is only a couple of metres from the boundary. He's lining up outside the arc. They need this one, the Bombers. From 45, from a tight angle, Guelphy. He spears it through. 5-point margin, the Suns lead the Bombers with a sniff. 29 gone, final term in a brilliant game of footy here at Carrara.
That was an outstanding set shot.
From that angle, from that pocket, we know that can be such a tight angle, especially for a right footer. And in the time of this game, just an outstanding kick.
Jeez,
brilliant.
It was a pretty good spoil too by the Suns defender. It was a free kick, but anyhow.
Free kick, Matt. Free kick.
Yeah.
5 points the lead to Gold Coast. There's 2 minutes and 32 seconds left in the game.
What a centre bounce this is. There were big guns in there for both teams.
Bombers looking to add more credentials to their top 4 claims. Suns haven't lost at Carrara in 4 starts in 2024. Huge finish coming up. Suns by 5 points. Moyle wins the tap down at the centre bounce. Merritt crashes through. His shin doesn't clear the damage though. Picked up by Miller of Gold Coast. Kicks to half forward. Free kick to Ben Long.
How many times that happened when
he was held on to? He's in everything today, Jeff.
When the Bombers have kicked the goal, Suns have won the centre bounce.
Yep.
And
every time.
Long points deep, but then chips short to Miller. Miller's got a man on. He chips it to... that wasn't a great kick to attacking 50. It sat on the head of the target there, and Fiorini spoiled away by Laverty. Bombers have got it. Caldwell had it, lost it, got it back. Ball, yes. Holding the ball. Took Miller with the tackle. And Laverty's given it to the wrong man. And that's a 50-metre penalty to Tuke Miller. Fiorini knew it straight away. Laverty gave it to him and he pointed to the ump and said, "It's not my kick, mate." And the skipper gets marched to half 100 to kick what should be the icing goal.
But how does Laverty meant to not, like...
No, that's...
I get it.
You've got to get that right.
But they're right next to each other. So which one made the tackle? He's going to say.
He didn't give it to his own teammate.
And he wasn't the one that got tackled.
Yeah, that rule is actually black and white.
Yeah.
So it's just a mistake, unfortunately, in the heat of battle.
Brain fade.
And now Tuke Miller, he's got 95 seconds on the clock. If he kicks this, the Suns will be 11 points in front. Slight angle, 15 now. Delivers! And Carrara, I was about to say rejoices as one, but it's probably more Bombers fans here than Suns fans. Anyway, the red and gold fans are happy. Tuke Miller kicks the goal, and we've got 83 seconds left in the game, and Gold Coast lead by 11 points at 14-7-91 to 11-14-80.
Terrific by Tuke. I know he got the 50, but he messed up the kick that was trying to milk the clock, and then he went back and got the tackle, won the ball back. So got on with his mistake, got the tackle, and then a brain fade by Essendon there to give him a 50. And we thought the last centre bounce was important, Whitey, and went the Suns' way. Well, can Essendon do something here?
It took Miller this quarter. 10 disposals, 4 of them contested, and a goal.
Huge.
That's Cripps. Bontempelli, yes, isn't it?
And Harley Reid has been handed a 2-match suspension. That news coming through. We'll sift through it further in the postgame.
Ned Moyle wins the tap out and then the clearance. He hooks it forward. It bounces to the arc. Well done there by Laverty, who takes the ball out. He's pulled off it there by Long. Didn't give the free kick away. He gave it, did Long. Gave it to Will Graham. He tries to centre the ball. Fisted away by the Bombers' defence. Ball lands on the arc. Now it's a free kick. It's going to be against the Suns. It's going to go back all the way to the back pocket. It's going to be Ben Mackay who's got the ball with about a minute left to play here at Carrara. He's in the left back pocket for the Bombers. They trail by 11 points. They need to get a wriggle on. That's a mongrel of a kick. He's kicked it straight down the throat of Ben Long.
What was that?
40 metres away. It was tumbling face over apex forward instead of the other way, and Long gathers 70 from goal. He kicks it to the pocket. It's going to be a big fly from King at the back through the hands of Big Ben King and Ben Mackay.
That's it.
And it's going to be a throw in the right forward pocket for the Gold Coast Suns. They're leading this one by 11 points. It's been a magnificent game of AFL football here at Carrara with just over 30-odd seconds to go.
There was genetics in that clanger.
Yes.
Boundary throw in.
Yes.
Moyle in the contest gets it down. Kelly tries to burst through for Essendon. He's wrapped up. Ball comes free up, lets them play. Fiorini for the Suns, hands it out the back to Swallow. Hands it to the boundary, hoping for Miller. Miller hopes for the boundary with Caldwell. There was no intent to keep that in, but the umpire decides, no, it will be a throw in. Gold Coast has kicked 5 goals in this final term. Essendon has kicked 5 goals. It was 11 points the difference at three-quarter time. The Bombers never hit the front. They were level twice. But Gold Coast hold on to that 11-point lead in the final throws of the contest. Boundary throw and attacking 50 for Gold Coast. Durham goes without it. Picked up by Graham of the Suns. Snaps it high to the pocket. It'll pitch and bounce out of play.
Free kick.
And there's a free kick to a Sun who was held without the ball. As the siren sounds, Gold Coast will win. Tom Berry was held by Laverty, who hasn't had the greatest last couple of minutes in the game. And now Berry will get a kick after the siren to affect the margin, even though the 4 points is secured. Tom Berry, as players are exchanging handshakes around him. Right foot banana, it hits the near post. It's no score. It's out of bounds on the full. An anticlimax to a ripping game of football at the end. And it's Gold Coast who keep their unbeaten record at home intact. 11 points the final margin. Suns 14-7-91. Bombers 11-14-80. Cue the bugle at Carrara.
We are the sons of the Gold Coast sky. We are one in the red, gold and blue. We are the mighty Gold Coast Suns. We play to win the flag for you.
Essendon had the best of the opening quarter and a bit. They led by 9 points at quarter time, the Bombers. But when the Suns snatched the lead quarter of an hour into that second term, they were never headed since there, even though it was close all the way. Gold Coast by 8 points at half time, by 11 points at three-quarter time. Twice the Bombers got level in the final term. They couldn't get to the front, and in the end, the three-quarter time margin of 11 holds at full time. The Suns are 7 wins and 5 losses. Bombers suffer their third loss of the season.
We are the sons of the Gold Coast sky. We are one in the red, gold and blue. We are the mighty Gold Coast Suns. We play to win the flag for you. Fight, fight, fight till we hold on the top. Run, run, run all the way. Hey! We are the sons of the Gold Coast sky, where the team will never say die.
Pretty handy game of football to wrap up round 12. Don't think the Bombers lost many friends with that result. We'd love to hear from you on the text line 0437 774 774, the number 0437 774 774. Send us your name and where you're texting from. So for the first time since their trip to Adelaide in round 4, the Bombers suffered defeat. So Sydney at the SCG, Port Adelaide in Adelaide, and now the Suns at Carrara. So that being said, they don't travel outside Victoria for the rest of the year, Essendon. That was their last interstate trip. Well, for the Suns, they're 5-0 at Carrara.
Not for the next 10 rounds. Essendon don't leave Victoria.
I just need to double check that. But
how does that work?
Well, that's the fixture. It's an uneven fixture.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. 5-0, the Suns at Carrara. Their scalps here, Richmond, Adelaide, Hawthorn, West Coast, and now Essendon. So a good bounce back from the Suns after being beaten pretty handsomely in the second half by the Blues last week at Docklands. They grow a leg here at home. It was fun. We'll go through the analysis. Where do you want to start? Matt Primus, Jeff White.
Well, a terrific game. It shows you that the Suns' game style can hold up against one of the big teams, and one of the teams that's in, apart from Sydney, is in really good form, and they came out of the blocks very early, but the Hardwick style, the pressure on the opposition, take away, and then just the surge, go forward. A great running, a lot of gut running from their wingers and on-ballers and half-forwards, as Jeff mentioned throughout the game, was outstanding. And then their efficiency inside 50 was probably telling in the end. I think Essendon maybe had a few more inside 50s than them, but their inaccuracy and also their efficiency where they had the shots from was chalk and cheese compared to the Suns. And I thought the Suns' back six were dominant. They beat Essendon's forwards hands down.
I need to make an amendment. They have one more trip away. It's the to-be-decided fixture of round 23. They're going to play Brisbane at the Gabba.
Oh, yeah,
so basically they've got
one more trip.
Tricked by the old TBC. But yes, they've got one more trip, which is Brisbane at the Gabba in the last round. But anyway, you get my drift. They've got a big run of games.
Pretty good run at home in Melbourne.
Played in Victoria, and they were pretty good today. Jeff, what are your takeaways?
Yeah, the gut running for me. They were able to link up and have that spread. When you look at the numbers, Flanders had 33, Sexton's had 30, Hewlan's had 13 marks, and Mac Andrews had 25. And they're all on the back line. And the ability to run off and support, but also it's the unrewarded running. So the ability to use those players when they're coming off the half-back line, but with width as well, not in close. So it allows the defender to come off really easy. Really big hand passes, really wide hand passes. Notice tonight, took Miller, when he got it, big hand pass to spread. And it just creates, it gives the receiver enough time to look up the field. So you got to have that movement as well and synergy. But I just thought their gut running off the half-back line was really, really impressive.
Messages coming in already, Whitey. 0437 774 774. Rob from Newport, great game at Carrara, great coverage. Brendan at Kingsley, here they come. Essendon have only beaten one team in the current top 8. If Essendon make the finals, they'll be out in straight sets. Question, what a game next week. They've got the Blues at the MCG on Sunday night. The MCG will party like it's 1999 with the Bombers and the Blues both relevant and 90,000 in the house.
Oh, it's already sold out, I think.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
It's already sold out. But the Bombers supporters, like the results show, they're second on the ladder. They're playing a great brand of footy.
Yep.
That first quarter, or the first half of the first quarter, was great. They used the ball really, really well. I think just the Suns, for my mind, they're just there, and we spoke about it during the coverage, just their small forwards came up and got used. So then the Jordan Ridleys weren't able to have those intercept marks, and they sort of, that's where they fell down, was that centre half back, because the Suns were able to then just go over that next layer. So when the Suns were going in early in the game inside their forward 50, it was congested because Essendon were able to get back there. But because they used the ball really, really well and they were quick and efficient, they ended up turning that around and then started going inside forward 50, clear structure. How many times do we see Ben King by himself, one-on-one with Ben Mackay? They work really hard, those half forwards, to come up and be active.
If you've got a text, send us your name. Here's one without a name, asking who was the player that handed the ball to the wrong player. That was Jaden Laverty, unfortunately. And to be honest, there's a part of the neutral outside looking in that thinks just as, like, the AFL's dodged a bullet here, that the Suns have won. And if they didn't go back to that Nick Hine goal where Ned Moyle claimed that he'd touched it, and then the goal ump wanted to have a review.
That was farcical. The goal umpire...
He was outside the goal square.
He was outside the goal square gesticulating with both arms. Come back. And the two central umpires turned their backs. Well, this will be interesting. If you've not ever seen this...
The Light Brigade. There's every chance of going through it.
They're the charge of the Light Brigade. The kids have run onto the field. The three security guards. No, they're over the fence. They're over. Three security guards Good luck there. And look, it's dead set like a Taylor Swift concert in the middle there. There is more kids inside the circles than outside.
Last coverage we had one of the great callers, Ben Cameron, was up here.
Yes.
And we said to Benny, watch this. And he couldn't get his phone out quick enough.
He couldn't believe it, Benny Cameron.
And in about 5 minutes, there'll be 15 security guards around the circle, but by then it's too late.
Let's get down to Zano in the Gold Coast rooms.
Yeah, Benny Long comes in his 100th game, kicking 4 goals. What a great effort by him. The two Bens really standing up tonight. Nettie Moyle, who we're going to chat to shortly, he's pumped up. He's like King Kong. He's got his hands outstretched like his gorilla. He's just talking to all the reserves boys saying, how good was that? Oh, there's a proud captain there too, Took Muller. Oh, I should say Took Muller. He's very, very good. I'll get it out eventually. Took Miller. There we go. He's very, very happy as they get ready for the song. Turning Carrara into an absolute fortress, and very shortly we're going to have a chat to Ned Moyle. I've already spoken to current skipper and Jared Witts, and I said there's a bit of competition there, so he's a very happy man as well, missing tonight but getting the win.
Interesting, the fortress at Carrara, and the regular dam busters are the next team to turn up. They're not in as dam busting form as they have been. Collingwood's the next team to play here after there's a trip south, a bye, and a trip west for the Suns in the next couple. They've got St Kilda next week at Docklands, then the bye, then they go to Perth to play Freo, who had obviously a really good win today.
Might be healthy by then, the Pies, in a month's time. They might get some numbers back. And
corresponding game last year was basically the last straw against Coach Stuart Dew. So be interesting to see how the Suns respond when the expectation's on them again, like it was last year.
Did we mention the attendance tonight?
Well, I didn't get it officially. Here we go. 21,759.
There you go. Well,
because it's been for...
next up, Collingwood. I think that's going to be a little bit more.
I know that
it might be, I think.
The corporates are sold out today, and the corporates are sold out for the next game as well. But, again, that's all off the back of the power of the two visiting clubs, as much as the Suns are continuing to build something here. So,
which is great. And just... really impressed with the way they were able to turn. They all of a sudden felt the pressure of Essendon, and then they just turned that around. So they're singing that again, are they?
No, they're just.
It's on there.
We had it live.
We had it live. I could hear it again.
Yeah, it's being replayed on the big screen.
I was wondering whether I should stop talking or not.
No, I really like broadcast craft from you, Whitey, though, realising he's there. Yeah.
You've taught me well, Q.
Yeah, so, we're going to get it from the horse's mouth in a moment, touched or not. Ned Moyle's going to speak to us. That was one of the talking points.
There's now 10 security guards in the middle of Carrara, and that has dispersed the 1,000 kids.
That is the epitome of shutting the gate after the horses bolted. There are now 4 times as many security guards inside a circle which has been vacated. Like, just let them run there and then put the rope afterwards. Zano, down to you with Ned Moyle.
Oh, he has to kneel down too because I'm so small compared to him. The big man replaced Jared Witts tonight, and Ned, 17 disposals, 26 hit-outs, but more importantly, you guys are turning this place into a fortress.
Yeah, how good, hey. It's so good. We love playing out here. Obviously, we've got a good record this year. But, the fans really got us up today, and it was fantastic to get another win on the board up here.
When did you find out that Jared was out? And there's talk that he might not even come back next week before you buy. Do you know what's going to happen with that? And when did you find out this week?
I found out at training. I mean, I got no idea. It's sort of out of my control, one of those things. So I'm just happy to be out here and getting a run and trying to do the best to get us 4 points on the weekend.
All right, well, we're going to go up to the panel very shortly, but there was a contentious goal in the third quarter, and I know you knew I was going to ask about it, with Nick Hine. What did you think when the goal umpire standing at the top of the goal square and he's saying, look, guys, we need to review this, and nothing was being done? You were kept saying, I touched it.
Yeah, obviously I thought I touched it. I mean, I felt like I got 2 hands on the ball. Obviously the score review thought otherwise, but at the end of the day, we're on the game, so it's all good. But, yeah, just a bit confused at the time. I was a bit rattled, yeah.
I bet you were. I'll pass you up to our panel. We've got Michael Price, Quentin Hull, and the 2 ruckmen. They're looking forward to chatting to you in Matthew Primus and Jeff White.
Ned, it's Quentin Hull here. I'll start in your area of the ground because you got smacked in the middle. That's the reason the Blues got the better of you last week. So what type of stoppage and clearance work did you do this week, and how different was the challenge against Essendon, even though, of course, you weren't there last week, but I think you get the nature of the question.
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing for us is we wanted to be really combative, and we trained that during the week, and we knew that Essendon were going to be really tough in there and fierce, so we just had to step it up a level from last week. And and as we said, our sort of game starts in the contest, so if we can get that part right, it gives us good territory advantage and the best chance to sort of kick some goals.
Ned, Jeff White here. I thought you were outstanding tonight, mate. But one particular when you touched it, a bit of controversy, all that sort of stuff. Really love what you guys did. You went back in the centre bounce. Who was the one that initiated that? You went back in the centre bounce. You tapped it to Rao, went down for a goal. Who initiated that? It was great leadership. We saw it from up here. Who was the one that initiated that?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a few sort of plans that we go through during the game, but yeah, I think it was just as a group we came together. It's one of those things, we know it's out of our control, so we just knew the best thing we could do was focus on the next contest, and yeah, luckily we got our heads on right, and we got it forward and kicked the goal, so it was really, it was a full group effort in the midfield.
Ned, Matt Primus here. Well done tonight. We called it a few times up here. You guys got some really crucial centre bounce wins when Essendon either were coming back at you or drew level or maybe just got their noses in front. Was there a discussion on those key moments when they come in, hey, we need to win this next one and where can you hit it, those sorts of things? Because those really important ones, especially in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. We just keep it really simple and predictable to each other. And yeah, we just come in and speak about raising the fight and getting it to a predictable spot, and then the boys going to work in there, and I thought, they were super with their body work and contest throughout the whole day, especially second half.
It's fitting we're speaking to you this week, Ned. It's the week of the mid-season draft. 3 years since your life was changed. I'm wondering, if you had a reflection this week on hearing those names read out, and even if you'd have a word of advice to those guys. I mean, the likes of Johnny Noble straight in, he's played 100 games, some of the others still battling away. Here you are, 3 years down the track, you're playing your 5th game of league footy. What's your experience of the mid-season draft been over these years?
Oh, yeah, obviously fantastic. It's given me a shot at playing AFL footy, which I'm super thankful for, so... Yeah, obviously to all the boys who just got picked up, you just want to take every opportunity that comes your way and, fight really hard and work really hard. So, yeah, obviously I sort of got a bit of time to reflect during the week and it was kind of cool to think about. But, it's a good thing to have in the competition. Give some boys an opportunity who might not get one otherwise. So,
you've been outstanding in the VFL and it's great to have a chat to you to talk a bit about that. What was it? 73 hitouts in the grand final or something like that. You've really had to work at the lower level, and you've got your co-captain and an established senior ruck ahead of you. So how do you work through those challenges of biding your time?
Yeah, well, I'm fortunate Witsy. He gives me so much time and advice and help. So he really helps me a lot. So, you know, even if I'm not playing, he's always got plenty of advice and tips and craft and stuff like that that help me become a better player. So, I mean, yeah, obviously you want to be playing at the highest level, but I couldn't be luckier to be his understudy, I think.
Ned, Michael Price here, mate. I just want to know, and I think you did brilliantly tonight, I want to know how good it must feel as a ruckman to know that you've got the capable hands of Noah Anderson, Tuke Miller, Matt Rowell underneath you. 22 clearances out of 28 for them tonight. How good does that feel knowing that they're underneath your hands?
Yeah, thanks, Michael. It's pretty fantastic. I mean, obviously they're all really hard-working, competitive and strong in there. So, I mean, it's pretty nice to know that if you can put it to a spot, those boys don't get beaten very often. So you can, rely on them to get the job done in there.
And I just wanted to finish up with most of the Suns boys, when we get them this year, we just ask for an impression of the new gaffer, the new coach, Dimmer. What's your experience with him being like?
Oh, fantastic. Dimmer's been great. All the boys really love him, and he coaches with so much emotion, which is really something that helps all the players get behind and get up and about on game day in particular. So, yeah, I've really enjoyed Dimmer so far, and he's been great for my footy, and I think a lot of boys who've come along this year, yeah.
The only thing that didn't happen today is you could have played on the oldest ruckman in the competition to really test yourself out. No Goldie on the Goldie, but you did your bit. Thanks for your time, Ned. Well played.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Just his fifth game, the 22-year-old Ned Moyle, and the mid-season draft's been a huge talking point during the week. He's a guy that got an opportunity through that, was that first or second year of the mid-season draft?
I think it might be the second year.
I think it was, yeah. So it's still a relatively new part of the game. And we are getting both sides of it, aren't we? We see Johnny Noble passed the 100 games, played again for Collingwood the other week. And here's a guy playing his fifth game.
Look at number 22 for the Bombers.
Yeah, Durham's another one, isn't he?
Yep. So, and he's become a vital
part
of their midfield. And boy,
he's
awesome. He played well tonight.
He's awesome.
Final score, if you're just tuning in, Gold Coast 14 goals 791 to Essendon's 11 14 80. 11 points that final margin. I should go through the goal kickers for you. I don't think I did that in the rush at the end of the game. So Ben King kicked 4 goals. Ben Long in his 100th game kicked 4 goals.
Where does Ben King go now on the common?
Oh, he's up to 36. We'll check that for you.
Pricey's on that.
Equal, I think it is.
2 goals to Jack Lukosius and single goals to Bailey Humphrey, Ben Ainsworth, Tuke Miller and Tom Berry. Essendon, 3 goals for Nick Cox. Goals to Wright, Jones, Hind, Wolfie, Kelly, Durham, Caldwell and Benzie. So,
Ben King's tied with Charlie Curnow now, 36 goals apiece.
Okay. And was it in the end, the percentage of Ben's? 4-8, 9 of 14.
That's not bad.
My maths.
So you're just saying you just need a Ben Mackay to get given a 50-metre penalty.
By the way, there was a little bit too much twinnage in his kick in the last quarter, wasn't there? Trying to
get for a top. He was going for the top, and he was ended up in Gold Coast Suns' hands. But
I'll get to a couple of texts. Keep them coming. We've got a decent post game, and we'll keep rolling through your thoughts and thoughts of the day. 0437 774 774. Now, Glenn from Melbourne text. Now, he's a goal umpire in Community AFL. This is an interesting one. Great call, Suns v Bombers. I think you've misunderstood that the goal umpire's actions. He was most likely calling and motioning for a defender and attacker to be back in the goal square for the 666. He'd been suggesting a goal review, and he would have communicated to the field umpire via the comms system. All field and goal umpires and the emergency field umpire are mic'd up. That's a really good point, Glenn. Thank you for that.
Brilliant, Glenn. Thanks for that.
But, but in the context of what actually happened, I can see what you're saying.
And we've just had the guy say...
Hey, I know exactly what the text message is saying, which is brilliant.
That's really good. Thank you, Glenn.
But also, hey, you know what? Because that's what sometimes happens. They give the signal for a goal, goes to the centre. Then, while they're doing that, they do the review.
Yes.
So I could see where you're coming from.
No worries.
There's strange...
I thank Glenn for that, because that clarifies it completely.
But I think the strange thing that will go on here, in this point, that the fans have had the education during the week of the AFL, and the umpires are trying to do the best they possibly can to communicate with the fans as to how they are officiating the game.
Yep.
The question that I have as a fan in that point, as a fan now, I expect a review. And here is a player beseeching that I have touched it. Now we have the most obvious of moments to the point of officiousness sent to the arc. Here is an obvious question in the game, and the fan is denied the process that it went to the arc. And that sometimes we see it's needless, yet, you know, we don't want to be seen as being two-faced by saying, oh, well, at least they made a decision, play on. But, you know, I think what we're hoping for is get rid of the needless ones, and if you've got a guy saying, I've touched it, you know, surely that's the time when it's used.
But in the replay, it's obviously the sound, because there was Flanders, there was Sexton, there was guys around it that actually heard it, and they were signalling, you know, it's touched. And the reason why the goal umpire was pulling everyone back was because they thought that it was obviously going to be reviewed. They thought it would be a point kick in. So they were all at centre half back.
Yeah.
So that's why he's then starting to call it, get him back.
666, yeah.
So they're obviously what this gentleman or person saying with the text is just saying the goal umpires actually heard in the piece, hey, it is going to be signalled as a goal.
Yeah.
Bring everyone back. So in a way, probably the goal umpires saved them from having a warning in the centre bounce, probably.
He probably did. I've got a text that actually agreed with me on something, Q.
Oh, here we go.
The great man Craig Starcevich.
I was going to say it's not accurate.
The current premiership coach in the AFLW.
He says, I see you're an advocate for the lasso. Is there anything more obvious in footy at the moment? Absolutely, bring it on. No brainer.
Stars. It's been...
Well, between the arcs, look, because I just think it should be great to take more pressure off the umpires for the deliberate out of bounds, and just if it's between the arcs, last person who touched it, free kick the opposition.
Clear
and then
congestion, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
Let's get back down to Zane in the Suns' rooms.
Yes, I'm about to talk to Ben King, who kicked 4 goals, and he's got a bit of ice on his knee, so I want to find out about that. But I just want to let you guys know on a couple of things. Bailey Humphrey's got ice on his hand, and some people on Twitter have been saying, oh, has he got a broken hand? It wasn't a substitution because of injury. It was because of a tactical substitution that David Swallow, who's standing next to us, Benny, came in, and he's actually got stood on his hand, and that's why he's got ice on it. Also, the Queensland State of Origin side has got some big, high-profile people in this change rooms at the moment, which I'm going to ask about, Ben. So Jonathan Thurston, Josh Hannay and Alfie Langer, would you believe, are here watching the Gold Coast Suns. Ben, do you know any of those people? Do you know who I'm talking about?
I definitely am familiar with Thurston, but I'm not much of a rugby league bloke, so I'm not across the other blokes, but I've heard they're legends of the game, so it's pretty cool.
Well, you're a bit of a legend yourself, mate. Firstly, you've got the ice on your right knee. How are you?
No, I'm all good. Just a bit of maintenance. It's a habit after every game, so just looking after it.
Mate, the Meds looked after you today, some quality service, but how good is it to be able to put them through the big sticks in a big win like that for you guys against one of the top 2 teams?
Yeah, it's really rewarding. Essendon are a great team. They've been in great form, so I thought it started with our midfield, to be honest. They really got to work. Their pressure was elite, and then their entries and their ball use make it really easy for us up forward.
I'm going to pass you up to the panel because I'm sure they've got plenty of questions for you. We've got Michael Price, we've got Quentin Hull, Matthew Primus, and also alongside him is Jeff White.
Ben, it's Quentin Hull here. Well done again tonight. 4 goals for you. And the men around you, there's been a bit of chopping and changing this year. I mean, you're getting your job done. That's 36 goals for the seasons. But last year you had Big Levi. At the start of the season, Casbolt was there. Now he's out of the team and you've got a couple of youngsters around you. Jed Walters had a go. Ethan Reed's been up there. A couple of times they've been subbed out. You've had Jake Lukosius as a lieutenant. He went back. Now he's back forward again. Yet you still keep kicking goals. So how does that all work as the spearhead in that forward line?
It works well, to be honest. I think we're really blessed to have a great depth in our forward line. So, we've seen a number of blokes roll through those positions. But, I feel like every guy who comes through gets their job done as well. So, we're lucky to have that depth. But certainly the lads that are out there tonight all played their role, and it was a great win.
Can I refine my question? Does it change your role, the personnel up forward? Does it make your job any different from week to week?
No, not at all. I think maybe when there's some younger blokes in the team, I think we have more of a premium on leadership and setting blokes up. But in terms of my job, I play the same position every week, and I'm pretty sure on my role, and just try and get that done every week.
Ben King, is Jeff White here. I think this is the first time we've interviewed you, so I really want to get this out. Well done when wearing 34, mate. Love it. Anyway, we move on.
Great number.
Great number, buddy. Great number. I was really impressed with these small forwards tonight. Awesome effort. Ainsworth, Holman, and Benny Long, obviously. They just talk about their movement and the ability for them to get up the field, but also their contested work inside your forward 50.
Yeah, they're incredible. I think Benny Ainsworth in particular was unbelievable tonight. He worked up the ground, he got a lot of the ball, and his ball use was elite, but then when it hit the deck, all our lads' pressure was so good. So, we thrive off that up forward, and our game's based off building pressure in the front half. So those four guys, along with Tom Berry, are really good at that.
Ben, Michael Price here. Mate, I just wanted to congratulate you on your goal-kicking accuracy, 36-13 for the year. Tell us about the system that you've developed, because your kicking is elite.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, there's not too much of a system, to be honest. I try and keep it as simple as possible. And, I feel like the less that's going on in my routine, then the less complicated it is, and the more of a chance I am. So, I keep it very simple.
Good feeling to keep the home record intact?
Yeah, very good. Always good to put on a show for the home fans. They were great tonight. We'll try and steal a few away and keep the home record rolling.
And you've sort of got an interesting schedule. I'm wondering how the next month looks, because it's a month before you're at home, but you've got Melbourne next week, then a rest, then you've got Perth after that, and you've just come back from a couple of weeks in Darwin and trip to Melbourne, so you've been around about the place. Yeah, we have. We're pretty used to travelling, to be honest, so I don't mind it. I'm a Melbourne boy, so getting back there for a game or two is good fun, I think. Great to have a chat to you. Well played tonight. Good win for the team. Yeah, it was great. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it. Ben King from down in the Suns' room. So 36 goals now for the season. Yep. Joint leader in the Coleman medal. With Charlie Curnow. Kicked 4 straight. Well, 4-1 tonight. 4-1. I'm 4-1. Yeah. No, it's Ben Long who got 4 straight. I just love... It's the Bens. Yeah, I love his... I watched him quite closely tonight. His ability to know when to actually jostle against his opponent, but then also in the lead. But his leading's just, it's gone to another level. The timing of his leads. I think I was listening to Gary Lyon was talking about the leads of Dylan Moore yesterday I think with Hawthorn, and just the timing of his leads, and it just makes the kicker puts it in the space, and so the synergy they've got with the midfield coming into the forward line has been. It was really good to watch tonight. Keep your messages coming in. The text line number is 0437 774 774. 0437 774 774. I'm going to chuck it out there. We'll discuss it in depth in just a moment. Do you think that the Rising Star should be an award which does not get affected by suspensions? Because Harley Reid is up for a 2-game suspension for his sling tackle that has just come through. The sling tackle, officially, it's been graded as rough conduct, careless, high and high for that tackle on Darcy Wilson yesterday. If you've got a thought, 0437 774 774. That was after Sam Darcy also got suspended in the Dogs win on Friday night over Collingwood. So we'll get to that in a moment. But let's go through the numbers and get the votes of our esteemed colleagues here. Gold Coast winning by 11 points. And for the Suns, Sam Flanders led the way with 33 disposals along with Noah Anderson. He had 33 as well. Anderson 17 contested possessions, though, of that 33. Sexton with 30. Miller with 28. Rowell 26. 13 contested, so just a 50% contested possession for Matt Rowell. These 8 clearances as well. That's just what he does. That's Big Mac 25. Big Macs today for Mac Andrew. He had most of those in the first half. He went out of the game a bit in the second half. The game changed a little bit, it must be said, as Essendon got a bit better with their
Well, Essendon,
forward 50 entries.
Essendon squashed up their switch, so they weren't switching it that much.
Ewell 19, Ainsworth 19. Bombers, Zach Merritt leads the way with 33, 10 contested and 8 inside 50s for the four-time best and fairest winner. 27 for Heppel. Nick Martin 24, Nick Hine 24, Durham 23, Redmond 23, Caldwell 23 and Ridley 22. Overall, both teams had 387 disposals. 387 each. Contested, +3 to Essendon at 128 to 125. The clearances, +2 to Essendon at 30 to 28. The tackles, +17 to Essendon at 57 to 40. Inside 50, the Bombers had 4 more at 58 to 54. And the shots on goal, Essendon had 23 to Gold Coast's 21. Football is never this simple, but there are statistics here that saying the Bombers have won on every stat except for efficiency, which has cost them, as in goal-kicking efficiency. 11-14, plays 14-7. Was it that simple?
I think it was a bit to do. They messed up in their forward, 50 to 70, as we mentioned during the night. And then also I think the Suns' pressure forced them to kick the ball to areas where, and I think Jeff mentioned a couple of times, where they had shots from difficult angles, where the Suns, I think their graph where they would have kicked the goals from would have been a lot more corridor, and Essendon had some on the run with some pressure, some snaps. They didn't take as many marks as they usually do, so a bit of both, I reckon, Q.
I loved how the Suns tried to own the corridor more. Even when there was a 50-50 ball to be won on the wing, but the Swallow one in the last quarter, he hand passed it into the middle, and they had the numbers there. So it's almost like it was, they were sort of reading each other's minds. But one of the things that it's really stood out for me this year is their ability to cut back into the middle and own the corridor. How many times have we seen Noah Anderson come through the middle? Took Miller come through the middle. It's just they're just trying to own as much as they can, and between the arcs is a really, really important area. They use the ball really, really well. They lower their eyes, they take ownership, but they also, when they don't have that connection, they're happy to kick it down the line and make a contest.
Who's voting today? I know it's always a collaborative, but who's delivering?
The older ruckman.
Jeff. Right. No,
So,
well,
Matthew,
yes,
it's your talk. That's a very nice little tap there.
It was, wasn't it? Yes. Clearance, bounce, goal.
By the way, I saw some social media footage of you during the week.
I'm not on social media.
No, it was a little clip from the Blues doing a number on New Blokes at Port at Princes Park in the old days. And you were blowing up. I think Brett Ratton did something. It was a post about Brett Ratton kicking 6 goals that some day.
Right, yeah, that long time
You
ago.
were spewing.
Teal blue socks, was it? Was that game?
Yeah, you had the teal blue socks on.
Our early days at Port.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Q. Yes, all right. We'll go on to the votes. I've gone a little bit different with the votes. I gave 1 to Hine. I thought from Essendon he was the most dangerous player for Essendon. 10 score involvements. The guy looked dangerous through the middle of the ground. Every time he kicked the ball inside 50, something happened for Essendon. Just needed a couple more with his decision-making skill. I gave 2. I tossed up between Mac Andrew and Collins, but I ended up giving it to Collins. I thought, played on Langford, who's kicked 28 for the year, kept him out of the game completely. 3 possessions, had 11 intercept marks to himself, so he still played on the best forward, but also came off, intercepted the ball. I thought he was outstanding. And 3 to Anderson. Not only just the possessions, but 8 clearances, metres gained, tackles, and kicked the ball beautifully every time he got the ball in his hand. So 3 to Anderson, 2 to Collins, 1 to Hind.
Thank you, Matthew. So we'll get to those texts in a moment, but the ladder. After 12 rounds of football, and we start to get that disjointed look about it again because there's a few teams have had buys, but...
Just looking at David Swallow, every home game we've had here, because he's a sub, he's back out doing strides along the oval. I normally text him when I'm driving home when I see this. I say, mate, surely you're 34, you've got to give this up. Yep. He loves it. He loves it. Unbelievable.
He'd just be happy to be part of the group actually rising.
Yep.
He's been the original son.
The Bad In Excess cover.
You're exactly right.
I thought we were going to get 2 of those today. Sam Day was named. I thought, that joke's going to die.
I ran into his brother.
David.
I'm sorry, Andrew ran into on the last
Who used to
game.
work with us.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
how's he going?
He was really good, and he said that Hardwick made it very clear to Andrew, to David, that you're going to be used as a sub a fair bit through the middle of the year. to allow us to have fresh legs by the end of the year. And I thought that was really brilliant of the coach to have, you know, open communication with one of the senior players that's been here from day dot.
Yep.
Just to actually say to him, hey, we're going to use you a fair bit as a sub. I want you to come back and have impact. And mentally for him, how good has he been as that sub?
Terrific for him.
I should have the number. I'm going to lean on your knowledge of Melbourne footy. The Melbourne Footy Club. There's a bit of, not quite to the same degree, but there's a bit of Robbie Flower about this guy if the Suns ever play finals. Because remember, Robbie Flower finally played finals in 1987, which was its last year, the year that Jimmy gave away the 15-metre penalty when they should have beaten Hawthorn in the preliminary final. And then Robbie gave it up after that. So David Swallow is 231 games in. I know Marcus Ashcroft had played a lot for the Bears/Lions before the Bears finally played one.
Another.
How many was it for Robbie in the end?
I don't know what it was, but
I'll look it up.
But another Demons player was Nathan Jones.
Absolutely.
Went through all those games and finally cracked in for a final in 2018, I think it was.
So it was a couple of hundred games to Nate Jones.
Yeah. So, but going back to David Swallow, I thought that's really great understanding from the new coach come in, realises his impact in the team, not only on the field but also off the field.
It was game 270, which was Robbie's first final.
Wow.
He ended up with 272. So that was the elimination final against North Melbourne in 1987 when Robbie Flower finally played finals for the D's.
And wasn't Matty Richardson was like that as well? Did he go through a bit of a time there where he didn't and he played his first final in 01, I think it was, might have been something like that.
270, that's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games before you actually crack it for a
final.
final.
And you think about back in those days too, it was mainly that was all Victorian sides.
So 12 games.
Yeah.
Sorry, 12 opponents.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh, now you've got me.
11 opponents.
Oh, sorry.
Trying to host the end of the broadcast.
we were just trying to fill in time.
I'll just do Choppers, which was the other one.
Actually,
and he's relevant in this part of the
story
world.
I love is
he was 242. No, I think it was before that. Richo was 142. Thanks, Zano. He's just come up from the rooms. 220. That first final that the Bears
against Carlton.
No, I've got that wrong. It's 100. It's not that bad in the end. It's only 150 for Marcus when the Bears played their first final in 1996.
But 270. That's a long wait.
No, it's not.
It's a long wait to play a final.
I'm going backwards, and the Ashcroft example is a poor example because he played his 127th game. I think there might have been a stat about most before a premiership or something like that.
Well,
so I'll stuff that one up.
Matthew Kennedy, perhaps.
Well, you think 270. Like I played 268 games over 14 years, and that's relatively pretty. Not bad with injury and stuff like that. 270 games, it's a long time.
And considering
a long time.
He was a very light man. As Robbie Flower, he's just graceful. It's just beautiful kick of the footy.
Fran from Melbourne, always one of our loyal supporters, been sending us messages throughout. Hi, Harley Reid, he did the deed. Do we have this discussion because it's Harley? He is great, but please, why change the rules to suit a few? Mark from Upway. Hi, gents. Great call. The Rising Star winner is surely for a potential Brownlow medal winner, so fairness must be a part of the award.
That's a fair argument.
0437 774 774.
Otherwise, you just call it the MVP, Q.
Well,
and then if you take the fairest element,
and that's
it's a different award.
I think because
Rising Star.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's hard.
What do you think, Matt?
No, I think the Rising Star is just whoever the best player is.
So if you get suspended,
yep.
Because there's a panel of voters that get to work out,
Yep, I think it's...
But see, this is... so we can even take it back a step, which last year was a good example where many thought that young Ashcroft had a better year than Harry Sheasel, but because he got injured, didn't play enough games. And then there's this thought that, he didn't do enough to earn the Rising Star because he missed the back end of the year. And that's nothing against Harry Sheasel.
Which is ridiculous. I think it should be who has been the best young player. So Ashcroft last year played in arguably the second best team in the comp and was a productive player, not just a bit part player, a productive player. He was the best player in the comp last year.
So I think we're now starting to ask the question what the fan thinks the Rising Star is or should be, rather than what it currently is. Is it a pseudo Brownlow medal where it's about being fair, it's about playing the most amount of games to earn enough credits in the eyes of the judges? Or do we just say, nah, look, this is almost American style. Let's just go for, this is the best guy, he's the best talent in the game in his first year.
I don't pay
or
much,
in the eligible criteria
I don't pay
period.
much notice to it. I always just envisioned that when he came out as the best player. Who's the best player in the young player in the competition, and that's who it is.
I'm a bit like you, and I didn't even know that was only obviously the Brownlow, but I didn't know about the Rising Star. But it also begs the question, when was the last time someone was out and out the favourite and got suspended? Probably haven't heard it. That's why it's come up in this weekend, because Sam Darcy, amazing game and been playing really, really well, and of course Harley Reid. So when was the last time a player had been in that situation where it
we know that there have been examples where great players have been denied Brownlows because they've been suspended, but everyone knows that the eligibility of what the Brownlow is.
Yeah. Everyone knows that.
So this now creates the greater debate of, we know what the Rising Star was set up as, but is that what it is? What do we want it to be?
I think I'm with Matty, best player.
So you think even though if Harley gets the 2 games here for that sling tackle...
He's the best player, he's the best first year, or however the credentials are.
I mean, he might end up missing his 2 weeks and playing for the rest of the season.
Yep.
And, I mean...
Braining them.
With no disrespect to some of his teammates who are going well, but, he's half a chance to almost be among the contenders for the Eagles' best and fairest.
Yeah.
He might, and the laws of the game say that he can't win the league award.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just see what they do at the end of the year. Maybe another rule change for the AFL.
We've got a few things to think about.
Well, then you've got... here's another side of it. You've got, outside of the Brownlow, you've got the MVP, you've got the Valuable Player Awards, and then you've got Best First Year Player. Well, that as well, which is another... And that's not dictated to by whether it's fair or not.
I did read how much money it's going to cost him too.
Yeah.
He wins 20 for it. And then
there's
that's a $20 in their another $20K in their contract if they win it. They get another.
You got to dabble in player management.
Not that I'm sure money's going to be an issue for Harley throughout his career, but 40K's a sting.
Here's the ladder after 12 rounds. The Swans on top. They've played 11 games. They've won 10 of them. They are a game and a half clear of their nearest rival, and their percentage. I'm just checking the rest of the competition. The Swans' percentage is 29% better, to make it 29.3% better than the next best percentage in the competition. 40 premiership points for the Swans. Don stay in second despite losing today with 34 premiership points, 8.5 wins from 12 games. Cats, 8 wins from 12 games in third with 32 premiership points, along with Port fourth, Carlton fifth. 8 wins, 4 losses for third, fourth, fifth. Cats won 12.9%. Port won 11.7%. Carlton 108% dead. So when was the last time that Carlton and Essendon were both in the top 5 and played a game at the MCG?
Going back.
Party like it's 1999, baby.
Yep.
Wow. Bombers fans don't probably want to think of 1999. But anyway, that's the line from the Prince song.
Yes.
It's got nothing to do with that magnificent rundown tackle where Dean Wallace was holding the ball in the latter stages of the preliminary final.
Fraser
Anyway.
Brown. Let it go. Was it Fraser Brown tackle, perhaps?
Let it go.
So it's about the Prince song.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
not about the preliminary final. Okay? Good.
Not about Lance Whitnell.
No. Dockers, 7.5 wins from 12 games. What a win today. 92 points the margin there. 22 goals, 9, 141 to Melbourne, 7, 749. So Freo, 121.4%. So they're sixth, outright with a 7.5 from 12. Giants had the week off. They're 7 wins from 11. And they are now joined on 28 premiership points by the Suns, who are 7 wins and 5 losses. So Giants from 11 games, 7 wins. Suns from 12 games, 7 wins. That rounds out the 8. The Magpies and the D's are now shifted outside of the 8 following today's results. Pies, 6 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses, 28 points. They're 104%. And the D's, 7 and 5. They're 104.3. So 28 premiership points. Giants through 11 games, 114.6. Suns, 108.6. Then outside the 8, Pies 104.6, Bombers 104.3. Doggies 6 and 6, Hawks 5 and 7. So they're 2 wins outside the 8 at the moment. Hawthorn. Do they require an upgrade? I said on the podcast with Paul Roos a couple of weeks ago, I said they'll shape the 8, they won't make the 8. No. I'm starting to double guess myself.
No, they won't make the 8.
Okay, but they'll shape it?
Yep.
Then the Lions, who didn't play this week, still 4.5 wins. The Crows, I've spoken to a few very unhappy Crows supporters this weekend. 4.5 wins, that lost to Hawthorn yesterday. And then the Saints 4 wins, the Eagles 3 wins, the Tigers 1 win, and North none.
Question for you guys then. So the Suns are in the 8.
Mm-hmm.
They beat St Kilda next week.
Well, do they?
Well, if they do...
They haven't won on the road. They're 7 wins, 5 at Carrara, 2 at Darwin. 5 trips away.
They make the 8 if they beat the Saints?
Possible.
Not going there yet.
Possible.
Sitting on the fence.
No, I don't. I think that their home draw. The question today was important. Their home draw has got teams that will challenge them on this deck, i.e., Collingwood, Port Adelaide, Melbourne, and Brisbane. They're the other games at Carrara. It's a much tougher group than what have we had.
Yes.
Richmond, Adelaide, Hawthorn, West Coast, and Essendon.
If they beat the Saints, that's 8 wins. They play North Melbourne and Richmond. There's 10 wins. How many you got to win to make the 8?
No, I'm going to go with what form have we seen? They win at home, they don't win away. They'll be coming back here to play Collingwood 7 and 7, having lost to St Kilda on the road and to Fremantle in Perth.
Collingwood just lost to the Bulldogs.
Yeah, but they're the premiers.
So Richmond, the runner, Brisbane, the runners up.
I love this. We're having the same conversation as we did last year. What happened to Collingwood when they came here last year? Are they better, the Suns?
Yes.
This year?
Absolutely.
Why are they better?
Their game style is a style that will hold up against most teams. Yes, they've had their Carlton last week, but their game style will hold up against better teams. And I reckon Hardwick is using the squad to finish the whole year out, 22 games, I reckon. I'm not saying they're locked to make the 8, but they're going to be knocking on the door around 20, 21, 22 to try and finish.
Are you a smash mouth cover? Are you a believer?
Touch wood. No, I'm hanging on. Like I've been here for a very long time, along with you two as well. But I think the biggest tick at the moment is the healthy list. Touch wood. That's why I'm touching. How many times have we seen where they get to this point in time? I know Witts has gone down, but Moyles stepped up really, really well today. But
Weller's the only one that's really outside of Powell's suspension.
But you think about the players that have played this year, and Matty knows this too. If you have a healthy list and you're playing, the synergy you have on the field, it just outweighs anything. When you get a new player coming in, and it's like, is he going to go left or is he going to go right? It just becomes really instinctive.
That's why I think they're in good shape, because they've used 36 players this year. Sydney have used 27.
Next week, let's give you the draw. Thursday night, Adelaide Oval. Boy, there are no excuses whatsoever for the Crows at home against Richmond next week. That'll be a huge pressure game for Adelaide. Friday night, Dogs v Lions. Boy, isn't there pressure there as well?
Friday at the Gabba. Sorry, cute, I missed it.
So, no, it's at Docklands.
At Docklands, right.
Yeah, that's down there.
No footy.
On Friday.
No footy.
Saturday, down in Tassie, Hawks v Giants. That's a tasty one. Eagles are at home to North. You'd expect West Coast to win that. Saints at Docklands against Gold Coast. That's a huge litmus for both clubs.
Yep.
I reckon. Sunday starts in Sydney with the Swans versus Geelong. And then at the MCG, there'll be 90,000 for Essendon and Carlton as King's birthday eve before your lot have got to try and overcome a 92-point hiding against their traditional big game Monday game against Collingwood.
What a long build-up to
what a big cracking round.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Yep.
Thanks for your company.
Thank you.
Great footy today. Jeff White, Matt
awesome.
Promise, thank you. Zane Bojack down on the boundary in the rooms, thank you. Michael Price, thank you. Robert Apolloni on the faders, and to Craig Davis back in the studio, and to everyone who's been a part of our Round 12 coverage of the 2024 season. Today, the Dockers and the Suns are the winners. A reminder, not only the footy next week, but the cricket's underway in the Caribbean and the US. We've got the T20 World Cup on the ABC Listen app, so that'll help you get through the early mornings and mornings. Here's our Sunday of footy. Thanks for your company. Perkins is in space. Kicks it to half forward. Not a great pass, hoping for Langford. He half-volleyed it, but follows up Perkins to clean up his mess. 70 out. Kicks the Bombers to full forward. Out the back of the pack. Menzie gets a hand pass to Guelphy. Guelphy to right, and the ex-Sun kicks the first goal for the Bombers at Carrara.
Mason Redmond's handball cut off by Miller. Miller lowers the eyes. Oh, beautiful spoil. It's going to be rode there by the Gold Coast Lukosius. Curls it around. Long gathers. Handball back to King. King has a go from the top of the square. Left foot goal. His second. Matt Rao. A long kick in the Ben King direction. Over the back. Bailey Humphrey almost peels it in with one hand. At ground level. Then